style, I leave alone.
He's no pretender, he won't surrender.
MCs reaching for my style, I leave alone.
Heard it all before and ain't impressed with shit.
All right. This is King Butcher. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena emergency broadcast. I repeat, emergency broadcast. Canelo against Jacobs on May the 4th on the DAZN in the United States and Canada. In the UK, I don't know where it's going to be. Probably Sky box office. But anyways, all right. In the Hangouts, we have Cameron, we have Recognize the Matrix, and we have Stu. So introductions are required.
I wasn't back though.
I told you what's going to happen to the price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen. Cause...
Fuck, mate. It's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
All right. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's up?
What up? All right, so I'm going to have to bounce soon because I'm fucking working, supposed to be working, but Stu's going to be taking over. So, yeah, we're just going to be talking about this fight. Stu, are you there? All right.
Yeah, I'm there.
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man. Perfect. Oh, before I leave, I just want to say something, you know.
Why is Dave Allen in the hangout?
Listen.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Dave Allen isn't as good looking as me and he hasn't got tattoos like me, so fuck him.
Showing off. Cameron is showing off his LDBC tattoos, of course. He's part of the LDBC now, as
I got a new one today, man. I got the one on my chest is new, man. I got it today.
What is it? Looks like an eagle or something.
No, I've got an eagle in the middle, and I've got some script next to it.
All right. Before I bounce, I just want to say that, yeah, we weren't sure. Well, some of us were that Canelo wasn't going to be able to get away with just fighting the Rocky Fieldings of the world after getting paid like what, that $265 million for 11 fights. So I don't know what people are going to be saying now, because in my opinion, Danny Jacobs, it's a decent fight, all right? And he's not a bomb or anything, so I don't know. I guess some people were wrong by saying that Canelo was going to keep fighting bombs the whole fucking time. All right, I'm going to bounce. I'll be back later. Stu, you can take over, man.
Yeah, what's happening, guys? Can you hear me clearly? Cameron?
Yeah, very clear. Yeah, very
bro.
Yeah, because I've got that dodgy British internet, and I say any time I could be gone. If I start, I don't want to hear what I'm saying, but what do you think, boys? It's a big fight, isn't it? You know, we can't moan at this fight. I've been calling for the Jacobs fight for a while now. I think he deserves the fight. I think he's earned the right for a big payday with Canelo. And yeah, I'm happy about this fight. What are you boys saying?
Is this fight official? Yeah, because I've not been on Twitter for a while. Is this fight like official? Because I haven't been on Twitter for a while.
Yeah,
so I haven't really
it's official.
Shit, man, that's great news. I like this fight. I'm a big fan of this fight. I'm the same as you. I think if anybody at 160 deserves a Canelo fight, it's Jacobs. You know, gave Golovkin a good run. Some people thought, you know, he won the fight. I didn't, but it was close. Beat Derevchenko. It's a unification. And you know, I don't think anybody at 160 beats Canelo, but Jacobs is probably the best opponent for him there. Obviously, then Saunders, but you know, Saunders is all over the place right now. So outside of that, I think this is the best fight for Canelo. I'm glad he's back at 160 because I think there's some good fights there for him, and Jacobs is the best one for him, I think, right now. So yeah, I'm happy with this fight.
Recognize?
Yeah, it's a good fight, man. I mean, like you guys said, he fought Triple G. I thought he clearly lost, but you know, he did a decent job. You know, he did a decent job in losing, clearly. But it's a good fight, and he's bounced back since then. And so, you know, it's Jacobs could fight. Definitely he could fight off the back foot. It'd be interesting how he tries to approach this fight. Because I don't think he can go toe to toe with Canelo. At least I don't think going in. It might show up to be different, but yeah, I like this fight for sure.
We've got Precise Percenter in the house. Precise, opinions?
What's up, everybody? Hear me okay?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, man.
I hear you good, bro.
I basically echo all the sentiments that I've heard so far. Good fight, definitely. Canelo's stepping up again. So is Jacobs. It's just kind of hard for me to get excited about Canelo fights because we all know how it's going to end, right? Whether Jacobs wins or loses, you got to knock him out, right? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. So it's kind of hard for me to get excited. But as far as the fight, it should be a pretty good one in the ring, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. In the ring, it's going to be a good fight. Obviously, we know the politics. It's not something we really want to talk about, but it's there, right? It's part of boxing.
Yeah, it's like Mayweather fighting. Like I never get excited, never used to get excited about Mayweather fighting because you kind of already knew the outcome of the fight. But, it's just looking at it from the pugilistic point of view, this should be one hell of a fucking fight.
Yeah. Yep. There's going to be a size advantage, at least in height, you would think, in favor of Jacobs.
Canelo keeps growing, though, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to have the height and reach.
In terms of, obviously he's lacking in height. He's making it up with size, getting thicker and bigger. So I don't know.
Yeah,
you know the way he was coming forward against Rocky Fielding when he was just coming ahead with a bit of rhythm behind the guard. He just looked a monster. I'd shit my pants if that was coming at me. And I wonder Rocky Fielding got out of there quick.
Yeah, that's Rocky, though. You know what I mean? Angulo hung in there quite a bit, and he was there all night. So, and I know that was many pounds ago, many years ago.
Yeah,
I don't improved.
Yeah, I don't think we can go back to them fights back then and compare them with now.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about this fight is that even though stylistically Canelo's all wrong for Jacobs, Jacobs possesses some attributes that have given Canelo problems in the past, like movement and a good long jab. So, it should be interesting from that point of view. And I think we're going to learn a little bit more about Canelo because, like most of you guys, I'm assuming, I think Jacobs is going to try to use his reach advantage and movement, with Canelo having to cut the ring, close the distance, so on and so forth. Something that's always kind of been lacking in his game against top-level guys.
Yeah. I think Jacobs' problem is when he's trading in the pocket, he just hangs around too long. He's easily hit. And I think with Canelo, one of the best counter-punches in boxing, I just think he's gonna catch up to Jacobs eventually. I think he could stop Jacobs, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, I think Recognize said he doesn't see many people beating this Canelo, and I'm the same, man. I think Jacobs deserves to be hit.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see if Jacobs is allowed to blow up. He probably won't be. There's going to be the whole gloves thing. And I know I'm, kind of a party poop right now, but I'm just trying to keep it real. You know what I mean? Like, whatever advantage Jacobs in New York against Triple G, they're not going to be there against Canelo. Quite to the contrary, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to be at like 193.
Recognize it. Besides his signal cutting out for you, or is it just me?
No, it is.
I caught most of it, but it did cut out a little bit.
Yeah, I just thought it might have been mine that, but it's not.
Is it any better right now?
Yeah, it's
That's
actually
better,
good,
yeah.
man. It's just the little end bit on the last bit you said will cut out.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, all I was saying is, when Jacobs fought Triple G and had one hell of a performance, let's not kid ourselves, he was allowed to, I don't want to say cheat, that's a strong word, but basically he was allowed to, politics allowed him to fuck around a little bit, you know what I mean? And he's not going to have any of that against Canelo. And, you know, Canelo's raps, he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. So, you know, like what I'm trying to say is that looking at Jacobs in the Triple G fight, let's not expect that Jacobs, right? So if Canelo does put him down, he could very well finish him, you know what I mean? Jacobs might not have that extra gear or a few more pounds that would allow him to, you know, maybe hold on to Canelo or survive or take a better shot.
Yeah, the thing with Jacobs, you know, even when he's behind, he's got that equalising power. But with Canelo, because he's everyone that hits him. I mean, he's just got a great chin, and I think that's Jacobs' only chance of winning. And it's a, you know, to crack that chin, it's going to take some punch, and I don't see Jacobs being the man to land it.
You need a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm almost wishing, I know the belts and everything, but I'm almost wishing this fight was at 168 so that we could get the best of both guys, because I don't think Canelo makes 160 as comfortably as possible, and Jacobs definitely struggles to make 160. So I think at 168 it's a better fight, but obviously the belts are one weight class below, so I'm not fooling myself.
If Canelo's having a hard time making 160, he's putting on too much. That sounds like he's putting on too much muscles. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I mean, we were calling him a light heavyweight when he was at, what was it, 152 or something like that. One of them weight classes he created. So he was already big, and he's gotten bigger, right?
For sure. He's definitely bigger than me.
Yeah.
We were speaking about the last.
Go on, Cameron.
No, I was about to say, we were speaking about in the last podcast about, you know, what Canelo, I think some people in the podcast said that they think Canelo, they wouldn't be surprised if Canelo walks around close to 200 pounds or at least 190, right? Nowadays. Can't remember who it was who said that. It might be you, reckon,
like
right?
Oh, he's a bit big.
Yeah, I think 190. I would say 190, bro.
His fucking head is like 30 pounds, man.
Is everyone cut out?
No, man, we just wait. I think,
no, I'm here, bro. I'm just passing
right.
my big TV. I don't want you guys to hear that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like I said, Jacobs does his best work in the pocket, landing them bombs. And I just think Canelo, it's going to suit Canelo to the ground. I think if Jacobs got on the back foot and started running like he did with Golovkin, he'd probably, you know, it'd probably be a better move for him. But he's not going to win the fight doing that. So I just, when I break it down and, you know, how does Jacobs win this fight? You know, the best I'm coming out with is the KO, and I just don't see that happening, because I think, like I said, to outbox Canelo is going to take some doing as it is, especially with the judges on Canelo's side. I mean, one of them judges gave Canelo the fight against Floyd. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. So you're not going to beat this guy on points anytime soon. So you have to stop him, and unfortunately, he's got a fucking granite chin.
If Triple G couldn't beat him on points, I'm sorry, Precise. Let me just get this in.
No.
Triple G couldn't beat him on points in the first fight, or get the benefit of the doubt in the second fight, right? Because that's what I think it came down to. Who are you going to give the benefit of the doubt in the second fight? Certainly Jacobs is not. You know, I don't think he's getting any favors from the judge. He's going to have to earn everything. So I don't know how he's going to approach this. I would say he needs to fight Canelo, but like you said, Stu, one of you guys, I believe it was you, Stuart, that said he sticks around in the pocket too long, he gets caught with something, he might go down. So I don't know. It's the long jab could do it, some movement, but I don't think that's going to be enough to win it on the scorecards.
Yeah, I mean, because since the Pirog defeat, he's not really faced a big punch. I mean, Quillen was a big puncher, but we didn't get long enough to see what would happen if Quillen landed, because Jacobs blasted him out of there in a round. So since then, we've not really seen him in there with big punches. We've seen him there with good boxers, you know, slick fighters, but not big, massive punches. And I just think Canelo's a massive. I know a lot of people say he doesn't hit that hard, but I'm telling you, if he starts landing them shots on your body, you know, and then it's a matter of time before you start to fade. And I think that could be the key. The body shots, world class body shots, and that's going to slow Jacobs down. And I think it's going to take its toll in the end. And I see a stoppage for Canelo. Guys,
I don't know, man. I think I'm hearing myself. I think Jacobs is going to prove difficult. I think he loses legitimately, but I think it's going to be difficult for Canelo. I mean, he has what, like a 5-inch height advantage and a few inches of reach. You know, if he uses that wisely, it's going to be difficult for Canelo. He's not going to spark him out like Amir Khan, and he can adopt a similar game plan, right? To Amir Khan, who, even though I thought was losing, had good success. But Khan is, as far as height and reach, the same as Canelo, right? Jacobs will have the advantages, physical advantages necessary to employ that kind of game plan and be at least somewhat successful. Plus, he has that punching power. I mean, Canelo can't just walk in on Jacobs.
No.
He's got to be careful, you know.
Yeah, of course, you know. But I you know, with the boxing, I just don't think on the back foot it's going to win in the fight. That's just my point.
Well, no, he has to try to knock him out. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't win on points. Period. And moving away, Canelo's obviously going to get the benefit of the doubt, even if Jacobs is nicking these rounds. He's not going to get them. So of course, but I'm not saying stay on the back foot. I'm saying control the distance. That's all. So if Canelo moves an inch, you move back an inch. I'm not saying get the hell out of there and be all the way across the ring running away. No. Just control the distance, right? When he wants to get close to you, you maintain that space. That's all I'm saying, right? And he can fight from that distance. He can box, he could punch, he could do whatever he wants, as long as he stays at his distance and not allows Canelo to get close to him, which it's going to be very difficult.
I think Canelo's got to make sure that Jacobs don't come in at 190 pounds like he did against Golovkin. It was something around that. He was massive. I think Canelo will make sure that don't happen. Because I think if Jacobs comes in at that size, I mean, even a man like Canelo is going to struggle, you know, with the weight. So I think, you know, Jacobs has a chance. Of course he does. But I just don't see anyone beating this Canelo Alvarez right now. So if Golovkin couldn't do it, I just don't see Jacobs doing it. But you never know.
Well, I thought officially Triple G won the fight, but, you know, it wasn't a robbery.
No. For me, he won the first, and I had Canelo winning the second.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely acceptable, debatable, you know what I mean? So I don't see Canelo as unbeatable, to be honest with you, but I'm not sure there's a guy at 160 right now that can, you know. But, you know, Billy Joe might. I don't know. It's just so hard to, like, get excited for Canelo fights, man, because you know the guy, if he's got good boxing skill and all these other attributes and advantages over Canelo, you know he has to compromise that and go for the knockout, which, you know, changes who this person is.
Yeah.
And like Golovkin found himself, you know, having that kind of problem in a way. But
the thing is, though, you know, Canelo gets a lot of stick. You know, certain people call him a cherry pick. I mean, anyone calls him a cherry picker knows absolutely zero about boxing. One thing about Canelo, he has fought a lot of guys that are horrible style matchups for him, like Lara, Trout, and Floyd. You know, this guy, even though it's a horrible match for him, he takes these fights. So, you know, people give Canelo a lot of shit, but I've always give this guy respect because he fights anyone and he fights the best, and he fights styles that don't make him look good. Let's just say that. And a lot of people use them fights against him, like the Lara and the Floyd. So,
I'm kind of. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, go on, man. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not quite where the haters or where you are. I'm kind of in the middle because, yes, I agree. He's fought guys that are very difficult for him. So I respect that because you could see the desire to want to learn against a difficult style. And he'll fight any kind of style, which is good. At the same time, he has the luxury of sucking and still winning. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes his balls bigger than what they really are. I'm not going to sit here and say that Canelo is this fucking warrior because he knows and his team know that he could allow himself to kind of take it easy, maybe turn it into a bit of a sparring match like with Lara, not really like step on the gas, and he'll still win anyway. As long as the other guy's running away, he's still going to win. So I give him credit for not really cherry picking the styles like Mayweather did, but at the same time, I know he has the luxury of not really winning the fight or not doing enough to win the fight. He's still going to get the benefit of the doubt.
But you still got to be good enough to hang around there. You know, you can make up all the excuses for Canelo, but you still got to be good enough to hang around. It's like say Triple G. Like Mark Erosion, just say Mark Erosion. Say if he had the judges on his side, it doesn't mean anything when you're getting blasted out in 2 rounds. You've still got to be good enough to hang around for the judges to make these decisions. And that's with Canelo. He's still, you know, because any fighter could have the judges against Triple G, and most of them are not going to see the cards. But
that's no, like I agree with you, and that's why I do give him credit, but I'm not going to give him a ton of credit because, like I said before, the other guy is automatically compromised before they step in the ring with him. They're already compromised; they can't really be themselves necessarily. And Canelo has the luxury and you know, corruption behind them. So it changes who you are in that ring. It makes Canelo's balls grow bigger, and the other guy has all these other things he needs to worry about. So it's just not a fair dynamic. But I do give him credit. I'm just not going to be like, oh, he's unbeatable, he's all that, because it's still Canelo. But I want to hear what Cameron has to say.
I think the point you're making is like Canelo, because he's got all these things on his side, he takes his opponent's game plan off, sort of thing, because they know they have to change things up to beat this guy, and sometimes it won't suit them. So I get what you're saying, but recognise.
I give him credit. I give him credit. Don't get me wrong. I give Canelo credit.
Besides, I'm just going to go and get a drink. Do you want to take over quickly before it goes silent?
Well, Cameron was going to jump in and say something, so why don't you, bro?
Yeah, I was going to echo pretty much the stuff you were saying. I feel like Canelo does get a lot more credit than he deserves for fighting these guys because he's got so much, especially on the politics side, he's got so much on his side, and you can get away with a lot of stuff. But I will give him credit. I think Canelo's a guy that is a type of fighter we do need in terms of who he fights. But I feel like because he's got so much on his side in terms of, you know, judges, and seen it before with the Chavez fight, Lara, all these close fights, not Chavez, but there's a ridiculous scorecard. Now the Cotto fight had one. He can get away with fighting these guys, and pretty much if it's a close fight, or he only needs to win maybe 3 or 4 rounds, he's going to get a decision. So I feel like he gets a lot more credit than he should do.
Yeah, but he could have chose a lot easier fight than Danny Jacobs. You know, he's the sort of guy who can fight who he wants and still get paid loads of dough. He picked a really tough opponent. You know, probably this. You know, between him and Billy Joe for the second toughest opponent that he could face, apart from Golovkin, sort of thing. So you've got to give him respect for that.
I think the Jacobs fight is the one I wanted to see. The Jacobs fight 160 more than any other fight. Because I just feel like, you know, with the Saunders fight, I mean, Saunders is so irrelevant right now. And even if Saunders did fight him, is he going to get the decision? I think Canelo's that improved. I don't even think Saunders can. Some people say that Saunders can outbox him, you know, for 10 rounds. I can't see that.
Canelo will stop Saunders.
I think so too.
The thing is, Saunders, he hates pressure, but educated pressure. It's all right flying in like David Lemieux, that he's going to deal with them sort of guys all day long. But if you give him educated pressure and pile it on, because he's not a fit guy, the tank starts to empty, and that's where you got to get him. You know, you can't give him, you know, time for breathers and to be fresh. You've got to jump on him, and then you see the true Billy Joe Saunders. And I think Canelo would stop Saunders, to be honest with you. But we've got Captain in the hangout. I've seen him in the comment sections a few times. I think this is his debut on the show. So introduce yourself, bro. Captain Hook, introduce yourself, bro. You're muting yourself.
Go ahead, Captain.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah. I like Jacobs. You know, he's I think he's a little bit bigger. I think 2 inches taller than Canelo. And I think
Captain, I think he's more than that. He's more than 2 or 3. He's more like 4 or 5.
Okay, well, a bigger fighter, right? So So he comes in heavy, like he did against Triple G. He sits in the pocket with him and trades. He's tough, you know that, right? Like Triple G dropped him twice in their fight.
He dropped him once in the 4th round. Yeah.
Okay.
And he took a beating in that fight because his face said it all.
Right, so he's tough. So if he sits in the pocket and tries to get the knockout against Canelo once again is tough as hell too. So I'm not saying he can. I'm just saying it's his best chance at out beating him. Because if it goes to the scorecard, I don't think he comes out victorious in that. You know. But it's my, I'd rather see this fight than a lot of others. I like Canelo that he's taking the fight.
Yeah, I like Canelo taking this fight. I don't have a problem with it.
Hang on a sec. Recognize. I just want to interrupt. There's a fucking dog barking in the background.
Oh, Captain, you gotta mute your button when you're not talking.
Well, no, if he's talking, then try not to have a dog barking in the background because it's not.
We get everything in the background on this podcast.
Crack on, Captain Hook. Carry on.
No, that was it. You know what I mean? It was like I wanted to see the Triple G fight, but shit in one hand, wish in the other. See who fills up the fastest. But if this was the second fight this is the second best that I can get, then I'll watch it. But I like Canelo taking the fight, and I think like I said before, I think if Jacobs his best chance I know his movement's good and everything, but I see that going to a decision because he won't sit down into his punches. He'll develop no power, and then he has zero chance of cracking Canelo. And I think if it goes to decision, he doesn't get the win. I don't want to see Canelo lose either. I have no problem with Canelo. I want to see the best fight,
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a good fight for him to take. Instead of seeing him in a big fight fighting Triple G again. Although I would be fine with it if the next fight was Golovkin, because the two, especially the second fight, was a good fight. I thought, but it was a very entertaining fight. But it's good to see him challenge, a Jacobs and see what he can do with a fighter like that. A top, a top 3 fighter at middleweight. I mean, he's up there, so it's a good fight in between. I believe they're going to make the Triple G fight again. That's what I think. But it's good to make this fight in between, because I know Golovkin's coming soon.
To all them people, that was saying that Canelo's a ducker and he's ducking Charlo. I'm telling you now, Jacobs is a much tougher fight than Charlo. A lot harder fight.
Well, I mean, Jacobs is more proven.
He's a better fighter. He's a better fighter. Danny Jacobs would have beat the brakes off of Komarov.
Who's Jacobs beat, for fuck's sake? I mean, this is what does mean. I mean, look, he had a decent one at 154. I will give him that. But you don't know about 160. I mean, Korobov is, you gave him hell, man. I thought
you said Jacobs. You said Jacobs. Do you mean Charlo?
Yeah.
Sorry, Charlo, man. Sorry, Charlo. Yeah. Korobov came into that fight on literally days' notice, and he gave Charlo hell, man. I thought Jamal may have just edged it, but Korobov arguably won that fight. So for me, come on. I mean, Jacobs, for me, I've had Jacobs being Charlo for a long time since that fight's been talked about. Charlo shouldn't be mentioned with these guys, especially after the performance with Korobov.
Charlo needs to beat someone like Saunders, Andrade, or maybe even Derevianchenko before we could really get excited about him fighting at the top level. And as far as Saunders versus Canelo, I think Saunders and Andrade would be best for them two to fight each other since they already got history. And let's get the better southpaw, slick southpaw in there with Canelo, right? Instead of trying either this guy or that guy, let them sort it out and then put that style, because it's likely to be a boring fight. Put that style in the ring with Canelo, and at the very least, it'll be the better boxer, right?
Yeah, that's why I've got a bad taste in my mouth about this Billy Joe stuff. Yes, he failed a test. He took an inhaler, whatever it was. But Eddie Hearn was planning to. I just feel Eddie Hearn was planning to take this belt off Saunders all along, so he could give it to Andrade, feed him a few bums, and build him up for Canelo, because he's got Jacobs there for Canelo. It's all about feeding Canelo, and Jacobs is there. Andrade will be next. I guarantee if Canelo beats Jacobs, Andrade's next. So I'm not sure Billy Joe's going to get. I think he's going to be frozen out. I don't think he's going to get his shot anytime soon.
Do you guys think Charlo is the best possible opponent for Canelo at 160?
Not right now.
No.
No.
Charlo?
No.
Jacobs, sorry, I'm getting these messed. I'm all over this.
What's
Guy.
wrong with
You mean okay,
Jacobs.
Jacobs.
Jacobs, man, sorry.
Okay, now.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Triple G, and he's
Fucking
already
hell,
fought
man.
him twice. They already fought twice. I would say, yeah. I mean, that's the next best opponent. There's some other guys there that Billy Joe. Look, I know he has a boring style. I'm not too sure. Golovkin and Canelo would definitely knock him out. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, there's guys that are proven. Charlo hasn't done. I mean, outside of Julian Williams, who did he beat? Like, who did he beat that was so impressive?
I think we know what the most. Yeah, I think we know what the most difficult fight for Canelo is. I mean, we saw it, right? So we know what the most difficult fight for him is. But
of course, yeah.
outside of Golovkin, I think Jacobs is as good as any one of those top guys at 160 right now, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
Yeah, but, like I said, what has Billy Joe done to really earn the fight? He's fought once at like 170 pounds. It was like an 8-rounder or something. That 8-rounders don't get you prepared for Canelo Alvarez. So at the end of the day, he has to go. He don't deserve the fight. When you go through the list, Jacobs is the man that deserves this fight. Whether you like him or not, he's the one that deserves this fight.
And let's be honest, he needs at least a tune-up or a lesser opponent to really show us that he still got it. You know what I mean? I mean, what has he done? Like you're saying, he had one fight against the bum.
I think they dropped off. Yeah, I'm with you, Stu. Can you hear me, Stuart?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I can hear you, bro. I can hear you.
I'm with you guys. I mean, look, I think Jacobs is the next best option. You know what I'm saying? He's the next best option outside of Triple G, right? Triple G, we already seen them fight twice, and they were competitive fights. Arguably, a lot of people felt he won the first fight. There's room for discussion for the second fight. I think that you could go either way with the second fight. I'm cool with that. We already seen them fight. So, I still believe that's going to be that's a fight that's still on the table for Canelo. There's still a lot of money, and Triple G, not spark some fucking top contender out. Everybody's going to be calling for it. You know it. You know that's what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But in between that, Jacobs is the logical opponent. Charlo just needs to do something. I know there's a lot of Charlo hype, and I get it. They're fans and all that. And I'm not saying that Jacobs definitely beats Charlo. I can't say that. I would pick him. I would pick him to beat him. But Charlo just hasn't done anything. He just
that Charlo the other night hasn't got a prayer against Danny Jacobs.
No, I don't. I think Danny Jacobs beats him. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think Jacobs beats him. Definitely on points. You know what I'm saying? He beats him on points, at least on that. But that's the fight I want. I have no problems with this fight.
Yeah.
I did forget somebody. I think Zulensky would give Canelo one of the toughest fights in the division. I'm not saying he beats him, and you guys might disagree, but I think he would give Canelo one hell of a time because that guy can box. He's tall, he's long, and he could move. And I think he would give Canelo hell.
One thing about Canelo, I've noticed though, he's improved so much that he's actually starting to deal with these slick fighters. He knows what he's doing. He was very flat-footed before when he fought Trout, and fought very flat-footed, slow. He didn't know how to cut off the ring properly. He was just chasing Trout and Floyd around the ring like a little child. I mean, but this is a different guy. I mean, he's just very smart. He reads the fights very well, and I just think even though when you come with that slick style, that is his bit of his kryptonite. I think he knows what he's doing with these guys now, where before he didn't. He struggled, but like I said, I'm picking him against any slick fighter. Right.
I mean, Jacobs have problems with Derevianchenko and Sulecki. Those guys gave him some problems, but they're turning out they're proven to be like guys that are good fighters. They're very good fighters. So he is tested in terms of like he has fought guys that are excuse me. He has fought guys that are pretty good fighters or top 10 fighters, and whether you thought he won or lost, I thought he won both fights. I have no problem giving him both fights, Jacobs. And so you got to wonder if is that a sign that he's ready for a test like this, because we know if it's close, he's going to lose. So he's going to have to do a lot more. And the question for me is, if he does a lot more, does he hurt himself by doing that? Does he, he stays around the pocket a little too long?
Yeah, he does.
And gets caught with something, and can he handle at this point? I don't think Canelo could just one-piece him and knock him out. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's more likely. It's when Canelo starts hitting you to the body and then on top, going back and forth, doing that for a couple of rounds.
He's very hard to hit clean as well, Canelo, because he's got very good head movement. And I'll tell you what, he learned a lot from that Floyd defeat. I actually think he took a few tips off Floyd, because when you see him defensively, there's similar sort of traits they've got. This guy
I think he learned from the Triple G fight. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I thought he needed to stand his ground to fight Triple G.
No, but I thought defensively I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. Defensively,
let's be real, in that first fight, I mean, the way all right, a lot of people had Golovkin winning that fight, but the fact that he survived that onslaught and Triple G was struggling to hit him clean. He was landing, don't get me wrong, but he never really landed properly clean. Because Canelo is hard to hit, but I agree. In the second fight, he thought, I'm just going to stand my ground, because Golovkin can't. I don't think Golovkin can fight going backwards. I've never seen him fight decently going backwards, sort of thing. He's always good coming forward at a pace, but when you push him back, I think that's what Canelo realised, and that's why I think he won the fight.
Fucking Low Place in the chat. I thought, what happened to this thing with Low Place is trolling in the chat? I thought you were ostracising yourself from this channel, man. Fucking still in the chat trolling. Fucking hell, man. This guy never gives up.
He loves the channel.
No self-respect, man. No self-respect.
He did that whole video saying he's ostracising himself and calling us boxing the bitch arena. And here he is again.
I said he'd be back, didn't I? I said he'd be back, but I'm not gonna block Low Place. I'm gonna just let him say what he has to say and expose himself in the chat.
Low Place wants to fight Vosdick. Did you hear about that? No, I'm serious. He wants to fight Vosdick. He's
been doing a lot of videos recently. Have you seen his recent videos, man? Like, he's doing like 10 a day at the minute.
No, I just saw that one that he said he wanted to box Vosdick. I think he gets killed, but go ahead.
This is the same guy who did that how to beat Lomachenko video, and he was using a chair as Lomachenko. So let's not go into that.
That guy who went to Deontay Wilder's gym to fight him. I mean, that guy's got serious balls.
Oh, Zelenov.
Because Deontay Wilder's a sort of Zelenov. Wilder's the sort of guy that if he punches a random guy on the street on the chin, he'd kill him.
Of course,
so you got to give. I'll tell you something, mate. He'd kill a man dead if he hit a random guy on the street. Yeah, Zelenov went there and he took his ass whooping like a man. Because I'll tell you what, if Wilder said to me, "Come to the gym," I'd have fucking shat my pants, mate. I'm telling you that. No way would I've turned.
Yeah, so he's starting to stop right in that head of his, though, right? I mean, he every day he's on Twitter calling out every fighter going still. He's got pictures on his Twitter of him. I mean, I don't use Twitter now, but when I was looking on his Twitter, he was doing things like posting pictures of him with his belts and saying he's beat Floyd Mayweather, and he's even called out Muhammad Ali and he's dead. You know what I mean? So this guy's got a screw loose somewhere.
Yeah.
Y'all talk about going off, man. Listen, dude. Like I was laughing when fucking Wilder blasted him or whatever, but you can't hang around people like that, man. Like he's got to stay away from the shit. There's a guy on YouTube. I forget. I have to put the link up, but he did a full video on that Zelenoff cat, and he has legitimately got a screw loose. Like, and I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, legitimately, he got mental issues, But he does have some balls, man. When he sits in.
Didn't Zelenoff claim that Tom Cruise is Dominican?
I don't know. He had a whole thing with Kim Kardashian. He's buying her shoes, and he's gonna go out with her. He's gonna marry her. All this crazy shit, dude. It's fucking nuts, man. He's doing.
I just want to ask. Sorry, I don't want to change the subject. I just want to get off Zelenoff because you know he's a fucking lunatic. I want to go back to the boxing. If Canelo didn't fight Jacobs, I want you guys to name me a guy that you'd rather see him in the ring with. Let's just say that. Let's say if he hadn't signed up for this Jacobs fight, who would you want to see Canelo in there with? Yeah, that's a good fight, man.
Yeah.
Probably Cam Smith, man. Probably Cam Smith, because I think Cam Smith, out of all the rest, may be the toughest fight for him.
Yeah, because he's so big, man.
Yeah.
Captain.
Hey, Captain, who would you? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'd actually like to see Charlo, just so we can appease everybody and watch him get fucking stroked. You know what I mean?
Captain, is there any way you can turn your audio up, man? I don't know if it's just me, but I can barely hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you got to turn your audio up a little bit up, Captain.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better, man.
I think the fact that I think the fact that we're both saying a 168 guy tells us that probably Canelo has picked the toughest fight in the middleweight division, because we're having to go up to 168 to pick a guy. So
I just don't think anybody beats him.
Oh yeah, well, all the haters out there, what can they say? He's
well, I mean, you know,
Stu,
I know we talk about like these opponents and stuff, and people bring up Charlo, but how's that politically going to work out? Is Charlo willing to be, you know, the seaside? You know, he has no say. He's got no marketing pull over Canelo. I mean, that's going to be the issue, I think. You know, be prepared for like a I don't see you kind of offer. You know, you're just going to be here to fill in a date. You know, I'm going to do what I want to do. That's it. And you know, you do what you have to do. Kind of deal. Will Charlo do that? I say no. He's down with the PBC. They're used to it being the other way around.
Right.
You know, he might do it for the right price. He might do it for the right price. But
I just want to read a few comments, because Butcher has asked me to read a few comments. Low place in the chat says that Charlo doesn't have a prayer, but Selecki whoop Jacobs. Stop it. With question marks. So it basically says Jacobs won. I had Jacobs winning that, so I agree with low place there. Brandon White, I still think Charlo would edge Jacobs. Nah, I don't know how you see that, Brandon. I mean, what did he show in his last fight that convinces you that he beats Danny Jacobs? The Fight Scout, Prince Patel has been out of the boxing for a while. He said some racist shit to him and he bit back and they got rid of him. I don't know if he's on about Frank Warren, I don't know.
Who's the name?
Sonia Dumas, how disrespectful to Canelo. You really believe Jacobs will put money on this fight? I'll put money. No way Canelo knocks out Jacobs. Well, we'll have to see, won't we? Shepherd sends Korobov tamed that Texas Zoo lion easy. I think he's on about
what do you call them?
Texas
Do you know
Zoo
what?
lion.
Do you know what? Right? I'm really fucking. The worst part about being a proper boxing fan, and everybody who probably follows boxing can relate to this, is having fucking casual boxing fans as friends. I've just had some guy that I know tell me that Dylan White beats every heavyweight out there right now, and he genuinely fucking believes that.
Who's this?
Fuck's sake. I don't know about executing, man. He thinks Klitschko can come back and beat Fury as well. Fuck's sake, I just can't deal with this shit anymore.
No.
Casual boxing fans are the worst. When you got like really close mates who watch fights with you, and they don't know who the fuck is left, right, and centre who's fighting. It's so bad. Who's got fucking sheep in the background?
That's me. That's my dog.
I just said a goat or a sheep in the background, right? Like.
Oh no, you're the sheep. That's not me.
No.
Well, that was me, but I failed to see how it's disrespectful.
Bro, I'm being real. I'm being real. Because I picked honest.
What happened?
Fuck it, Moses got the podcast.
Jesus arrived. That's what happened. Jesus arrived.
Jesus Christ.
All right, right on.
We might as well go off the podcast.
What's up,
now,
guys?
Fucking
What's
wording.
up, guys?
Well, before the podcast turns to shit, let me just say I don't see how it's disrespectful to say that a guy that's been knocked out before gets knocked out again. I just don't get it. But go ahead, bro.
Oh, what's up, guys? That's all I was gonna say. How you guys doing?
Okay,
Chilling.
bye.
Chilling.
Nah, man. I was having a good day until you come on the pod, bro.
Oh, really? I'm happy to arrive then. Hey, tomorrow's Vegas day. I'm going to Vegas. Gonna watch that Pacquiao Broner.
Are you going to Vegas to watch the fight?
Fuck no, I'm going for my birthday, but then I realized, oh shit, Broner's fighting in Broner and Pacquiao are fighting in Vegas.
It's a birthday. It's a birthday treat from Varnes.
Yes,
No,
sir.
Varnes
It is.
hates.
After all
yeah,
that
Varnes
odds,
does,
bro.
yeah.
Come on, man. He's paying
Vic
for that
hates
shit.
it, man. Vic can't stand boxing still.
Oh yeah, it's Vic. I keep forgetting. Vic can't stand you. Yeah,
But fuck that motherfucker.
say he's gonna knock you out when he sees you.
Oh yeah, sure he can.
I'd fucking pay to see that.
Yeah. There's outside in the streets, there's a lot of things that can happen.
Do you know what?
Things.
I want to see Broner lose every fight, but if Broner fought you boxing style, I'd actually want to see Broner win a fight for once.
Broner?
Yeah,
No, man.
like-
Fuck no. I don't want. I mean, I don't mind to see Broner win a fight, but I'm not a fan of Broner. I don't see him winning this fight though.
Pacquiao better win every round.
Pacquiao is gonna knock him out, bro.
Nah, I don't.
He's gonna knock him out, and I'll pay him. I'm putting the money on that shit.
Did, but
There's about 2 or 3 fights that I know that there's gonna be a stoppage to.
I don't
And
trust
Pacquiao
Al
Broner
Heyman.
is one of them. And the other one might be with that UFC fight that's going to happen on Saturday. Segundo versus TJ. I think TJ is going to stop him.
Segundo. You can't even get the fucking name right. It's
I
Cejudo.
don't even know, man. I'm not Hispanic like you, bro. I'm sorry.
I'm not Hispanic like you. Cameron, you're Spanish? I know.
Fucking Albani, sorry.
What is that gay-ass picture you put up, bro? Come on, man. Change it up. Put something else. Put
You're
a shirt
jealous,
on, man.
You're jealous, bro. Jealous, bro.
No, I don't. You haven't seen me naked, so I'm not gonna even say that. You know.
You're what?
I can send you a dick pic if you want. Is that satisfiable?
All right,
Yeah, fucking well done.
let's get off this subject, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So are you okay with you're okay with this fight? Not Cameron, boxing stuff.
What fight? The Broner versus Pacquiao?
Jacobs and
No, man. I think he's gonna kill him, man. Canelo is gonna fuck him up, man. It's a bad style matchup. He's gonna go to the body, and he don't even care what happens to his head. It's just bad for Danny Jacobs. He's gonna hit him to the body, and he's gonna crush him. It's not even gonna last maybe 8 rounds. That's as far as I'm gonna push it. Danny's fragile in some ways, not really fragile, but fragile in some ways. I'll say that much.
I just want to switch it up quickly because I don't want to be like boring everyone with this fight for a few hours. The card
Breaking up,
that.
Breaking up, Stu. No, I think he's just gone all together now, hasn't he?
It's that great beaten internet.
Yeah. Stu, I don't know if you can hear us, bro, but you properly cut off.
You can hear me now. Fucking internet.
Yeah, we can now. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know what I could do with this because I live out. They're not going to put fiber cables out where I live because I live in the middle of nowhere. It cost them like £1 million fucking pounds to do it. So why are they going to do that for my house? So I'm stuck with these shitty fucking internet.
I got the same problem as you, bro.
Oh man, it does my head in.
Who's hosting this shit? Bucho or BDA?
Where Stewart lives, they only have 1G.
Stu's hosted, but he can't even get 2 words out in a minute, so it's not exactly great, is it?
He's got
Yeah.
lowercase G.
I'm going to come up in a.
You're breaking up, right? Well, kind of.
Yeah.
All we heard was you going, "I'm going to get off," and then you broke off.
What about now?
Yeah, it's good, man.
I'm
Yo,
fucking into that, man.
what's up, guys?
I bought Black Ops the other day. Right? I can't even load it on the internet. I'll break it up again.
Yeah.
Fuck this, I'm going. See you later.
Hey, you guys, you have Verizon over there? Get Verizon or something.
Fucking hell.
Yo, what's up, guys? What's going on?
What's going on, man? How's the gym going?
Yeah, just came from it. You know, good.
Yeah, he just came from it.
How's the progress going?
Yeah, I'm losing weight, so everything's good.
Fucking opposite for me, man. I'm fucking gaining weight.
Was it like muscle or fat or what is it?
I'm just getting that dad bod, mate. You know what I mean? Just been eating shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck working out, man. I just eat fucking loads of shit and just fucking leave it, you know?
Nah, man. You need to work out, Cameron. It's good for you.
I don't show getting pussy when I don't work out, bro, so it's all good.
Anyway,
what's going on? Gonzalo's on the chat as well, man.
Yo, yeah. Anyway, I kind of comment on the Jacobs Triple G. I mean,
Jacobs Canelo.
Yeah, is it like confirmed?
Yeah, it's official. Yeah, completely official. Yeah,
cool. I'm glad this fight's happening. This is what Eddie Hearn needs. Like, we had enough of Rocky Fielding and Jamel Miller. What big fights like this? So when the fight happens, it should be a good fight, and I'm really excited for it. And yeah, both guys are gonna bring it, but I think Canelo is the younger, more skilled guy, and probably will win on points.
Yeah, man. We pretty much, all of us have echoed the kind of the same thing. I think
You want to make a side bet on that apology? We do a side bet on the side, you and me.
What do you mean?
Like you go points, I go knockout.
Sure.
What do you want to bet? What do you feel like?
If you lose boxing style,
what? No, I'm not making no fucking stupid ass game.
You're not allowed on the podcast.
Bro.
You're not allowed on the podcast.
I ain't making no gay bet, bro. That's a homosexual.
You're not on the podcast for a month.
You're not allowed on the podcast for a month. Yeah, if you lose.
Oh, that's fine with me. That's not bad.
Fucking fuck me as well. Anyway. It's like Canelo wins on decision.
If I lose, I have to get a girlfriend.
I've got plenty of links. I've got plenty of links for your apology.
I don't know what you gotta do, but it's gotta be worse than what. No, it's gotta be the same shit that 1 month of no talking for me on this podcast.
It's impossible. We can't get rid of you one fucking day.
Apology. Come on, shut the fuck up, bro. I've been out here for like. Sometimes I'm not out here for like a month or 2 months or something like that.
Yeah, it's a shame that's not now, isn't it?
It's a shame that you're not wearing a shirt. That's a shame right there.
Bro, look, you got an obsession with looking at people's bodies, right? Like you're looking at my body
fucking shit's right on my fucking laptop, bro. I can see your face. How am I supposed to avoid this?
You're getting a hard on over me. Don't get placed about, mate.
No, man. Actually, I think my shit fell off.
Yeah, you eat fucking cereal with chopsticks. Let's get it right. I think Stu's back now anyway. Stu, are you there?
Still looking for his 2G.
Stu's trying to find that extra bar.
I mean, I don't want to say anything.
No, you broke up.
He said, I don't, it cut off.
He went, I don't want to say anything, and it broke up, yeah.
Yeah, fucking shit.
Yeah. Good shit. Fucking
Precisely dropped off.
So nice.
We should have like a warning sign on that when it's like too much dead air, it just goes off and goes dead air, dead air.
Boot shot. What's going on, bro? How's it going?
What the fuck?
All right.
What do you think of this? We've all got opinions, Gonzalo. What's your opinion on this Canelo Jacobs fight that's now official?
I kind of feel a little bad because I was over talking to everybody last night.
Nah, man, it's all good, man.
Don't worry about it.
I just a little eager and like I've never been on a live podcast before, and it just kind of.
Do you know what, bro?
Happened.
I didn't realise that. I don't think any of us realised that, but it makes sense now. So just say what you want, man.
Who's fighting?
Canelo and Jacobs now official.
Oh wow.
Give your opinion on the fight.
My opinion on the fight, I think that's the one people wanted the most. Like they were saying that that's the fight that um, that was that's the fight that should happen. Now it's happening. So I can't. I think the if anybody complains and says, well, why is Canelo fighting this guy? I mean, I don't think there's no room for that. So as far as that goes, that's what the public or the boxing hardcore, let's say, that's what they wanted. So that's what they're getting. If anybody turns around and says, well, he should have fought this other guy, I mean, I think there's no excuses for that. So I think it's a good fit. I think Jacobs deserved deserves the shot at Canelo. Especially, it's good for Canelo too because Jacobs got the IBF, so it's a unification bout. So what if Canelo wins the belt, does he become undisputed?
Unify because he won't have the WBO.
Okay, that's crazy because who's got the WBO?
Andrade.
Saunders? Okay, Andrade, yes. That's good. So I guess he's en route to. That's what he's gonna do. If he beats Saunders, I mean, sorry, I'm just woke up. If he beats Jacobs, he's probably gonna go after Saunders next, and that's cool. But it just got me thinking. How long did Triple G wait to try to get unified? He never was able to. It's not that he couldn't have, because he's very capable. I mean, he's only lost one time to Canelo, but it just never lined up for him to do that. And with Canelo, it seems like it's lining up really fast. It just gets me thinking how, like, when the establishment really wants somebody at the top, they'll do everything for him to make that happen. I mean, I'm not like I like Canelo. He's a good fighter. I'm just saying, as far as like why Triple G didn't get the easy path. Not easy, man. Just he deserved it. He had all these defenses. Like he tied the record. How come he could have never had it aligned to where he had what he rightly deserved? But as far as the fight, I think it's a good fight, and I don't know if I necessarily call it a 50-50 fight, maybe like a 40-60 towards Canelo. But yeah, man. Yeah, guys.
Yeah, man. I agree with that. Do you know what? I don't. Stu, are you there still? Because I know you're still in the hangout with it. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. No one's hosting it. There's no. Boxing Style's just gone, damn this fucking hangout shit. Hopefully he's been kicked off and hopefully he can't get back in because that would be a miracle. So we've got no host and there's no other topics that we can think about, no? I guess we're going to have to make something up on the spot to keep this going. Reckon I was usually good at this stuff, man. Apologies, so are you. You're usually. You're good at changing the topics.
You guys like mangoes? Because I'm eating some right now. They're delicious.
Yeah, I like mangoes, man.
Mangoes, yeah. They have a lot of here in the Philippines.
I like mango. I drink the drench drinks of mango.
Yeah, I've eaten so many mangoes that I got a pair. That was my life, boy. Mangoes. That was it.
Do you guys eat the skin as well? That's what I do.
Sometimes. I know what you mean. Like, I grew out of that. I used to like just eat the whole damn thing.
It's like when I was a child, I did that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the host for now, apparently, what Butcher has just said in the chat.
Yeah, you're pretty good at this.
Well, I did my own thing.
Man, Jesus.
For fuck's sake.
The predator is back.
This is fucking crazy, man. I don't know why Carneval was calling me. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? I can't answer this shit.
He was going to tell you to
fucking
shut the fuck up.
Oh, he was going to say,
Yeah, he's gonna tell you fuck off. That's what he's gonna tell you.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
That's good.
recognize.
I was gonna tell him right back at him, Mike.
Recognize.
Yes, sir.
Cheers, Butcher. I've now got the power to mute boxing style. Just done that.
Hey, recognize. Remember when you said when we were talking about Margarito, Antonio Margarito,
Yeah.
and Margarito, and you said that. I mean, that dude he looks like, or he gives you the impression that he could be part of a Mexican cartel. Yeah.
Yeah, like La Zeta. Yeah.
You know what many people don't realize?
What?
That Margarito's American. He's not even born in Mexico.
Right?
He's a U.S. citizen. No, he's a U.S. citizen.
Right. He was born in wasn't he raised out there too?
I believe so. He's from Torrance, California. He was born in Torrance, and he had a brother that was killed in a robbery. I don't know if it was gang related.
Use your power, Cameron.
But Margarito, you know what's funny though? He doesn't speak English.
Yeah, I know
he doesn't
plenty.
Speak English.
I know plenty of Spanish people that grew up, actually born and raised in America, and don't know how to speak the language.
But it got me thinking. Maybe he didn't really try to put it out there that he speaks English, because I think boxing is one of the few that if you're Mexican, he was born in the United States, but he got taken under like the.
But was he
Mexican
raised
people
in Was he raised in California?
Well, no, he was raised in Tijuana, but I don't know if it's ever
That's
since
what
like
it
he
is.
was a little kid.
But you see, if he was raised in Tijuana, right?
Yeah.
That's basic. So he was born in California, but then they took him back to Tijuana. So that's where. Then it makes sense to me why he never really learned English. Because what if he left to Tijuana when he was like 1 or 2?
Yeah, but the thing about that, I understand. Yeah, and they embraced him as a true Mexican.
Yeah.
That's like about the only thing that would. I mean, why would okay, like for example, me, I was born in San Diego, but I grew up in Tijuana. But I used to go back and forth across the border to go to school, right? So I learned how to speak English and Spanish. But Margarito, like he was born in the United States, and I guess he never took advantage of his U.S. citizenship to because if you're American, you would want to learn English, you would want to go to school, or later in life get a job, in the United States, compared to like what you could possibly do in Mexico. But the only thing that I think that somebody could do, like in this case, boxing, and being American, but as like adopted as a Mexican, he was able to do that. Like you're saying.
And you're 100% right. But you see,
That's
with him,
weird,
I don't think he was interested. Maybe because the way he was raised, he went to Tijuana. Does he live in California now, or he still lives in Mexico?
No, he lives in Tijuana. He lives about 5 minutes away from my house.
So you see,
the next neighborhood over.
So think about it. Like he's made a little bit of money for himself that he could have got himself like a house at least in California, and made a little bit of a living for himself over there. But he chose to be in Tijuana. So that's why he's seen as a prodigy of Mexico. He is, because he was born in California, but he chose to or his family chose it for him, right? They took him to Tijuana, and then he stayed, and then boxing got him back over here because he just wanted to make some money. He wanted to make some money and go back to Mexico, which is, there's nothing wrong with that.
So he basically said, I don't need my U.S. citizenship. I don't need it.
Right.
That's weird. And truly, yeah.
What was my bad? Look at that son of a bitch. He's gonna cut me off every time I talk.
Nah, go on, bro. You can talk.
I was gonna say, what was Princess Precise gonna tell me?
Princess Precise just told me to do this. Yeah.
And the weird thing about for lack of a better word, what's funny about that whole I'm trying to understand how the people are with the fighters.
Mm-hmm.
what is it? What's his name? The guy that's gonna fight Tank Davis, Abner Morris.
Yeah, Abner Morris.
Abner Morris. Oh, and he actually owns a house in my neighborhood in Tijuana. I've heard. I never seen him around there, but somebody told me. Um, Abner Morris was born in Mexico. He was born in Guadalajara, where Canelo's from, Guadalajara, Mexico.
Right.
And he doesn't speak really, really good Spanish. The other way around. And
yeah, that's a little strange when a Mexican is born and raised in a Spanish country. He has a hard time speaking Spanish. That's kind of strange. Yeah.
I kind of understand that one a little more because okay, he's a Mexican and he gets taken to the United States when he's little, and then he learns English more. Then he doesn't speak the Spanish as much as he does his new language.
Well, let me ask you something.
The thing about boxing with that, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you: has Abner Morris spent a lot of time in America?
Yeah, because he was born in Mexico. Like a lot of that happens more often than the Margarito. What happened to Margarito? That's just a little bit more weird to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But like I was saying, I was born in the United States, but I was raised in Tijuana. But I came back and forth. I guess Margarito, he was born in the United States. He went to Tijuana. He just didn't go back. It's just like because he didn't use his U.S. citizenship. And, but he did boxing, and the people embraced him, and he made a lot of money, and he was able to succeed. But Mari, he was born in Mexico, but I guess he left with his family from Guadalajara to the United States, to Hawaiian Gardens. That's where he's from, when he was little. So I think he got a U.S. citizenship, but as far as he was born in Mexican soil. And so I understand that how that happens. A lot of families cross for a better life in the United States, but but the thing with that, as far as in boxing, the people never really embraced him as a true Mexican fighter. You see, kind of got him. It's funny, you see.
Yeah, Mexico. You guys over there are a lot more hardcore about that stuff. You guys are like really. I'm not saying you specifically, but like the Mexican boxing culture is all about, if you live, put it this way, like Oscar De La Hoya, for some reason he was always slighted for the guy that was actually from Mexico. I remember when he fought. Do you remember when he fought Miguel Ángel Gonzalez?
Yeah, I sure do.
I remember a lot of fans cheering for Gonzalez. I can remember that fight. They were cheering for him, and Gonzalez was a very good fighter, but I don't think he had the international or the potential to being an international star like De La Hoya. And when he was hitting De La Hoya, and I think he broke De La Hoya's face, they were going crazy. They were thinking something was going to happen,
Yeah. I think that might be slowly changing now. Where because there's a lot of good Mexican American fighters. Even the Mexican fighters are training more in the United States. Like Canelo, he trained in San Diego, California. He owns a property there. My brother just ran into Eddie Reynoso. He took a picture with him downtown. Yeah.
Who do you think is the best Mexican fighter ever?
I think I agree with you. I've been listening to the podcast. I've been listening to the podcast for like 2 years, so I kind of know you guys already a little bit. I like Salvador Sanchez as well.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, listen. I think for me, legacy-wise, it was Chavez, but only because because Sanchez died really young. But he had some style to him, man. He was pretty good. He was just good, man. Even for that time, I think he would do good now, like the way he used to fight. I don't know if he'll be quite as successful, because I think boxing styles change. Like every 30 years. You might see a significant change, but I think that even his style today would have given some of these featherweights problems.
Well, when he fought Asuma Nelson, when he fought Asuma Nelson. I believe that was his last fight.
Yeah, that was.
Or second.
That was his last fight.
Asuma Nelson put up a good fight, but Asuma Nelson lost, right?
He stopped the Asuma
11th
Nelson
or 13th.
I think it was the 13th round, and after the fight, he said, you know, even though he was in a grueling fight, he's still there smiling and shit, you know, like a dude who loves to fight, and he was just like, yo, this Asuma Nelson guy, he's gonna be a champion. He said that shit.
And so when Salvador Sanchez died, I think he was like 23. Then Asuma Nelson became the champion, and then so the guy that lost to Salvador Sanchez, Asuma Nelson, went to become a great, and he didn't lose for like the next 10 years. So that's the fight that I kind of used to gauge how good Salvador Sanchez was. You know, if I use boxing math in a way, you know, it's like if the guy that he lost to didn't lose for the next 10 or I don't know if even longer, 13, but I think it was 10 years. Then
it was something ridiculous like that. I know that he finally lost to Pernell Whitaker when he went up in weight. I believe that's how it went. He went up to 135. Whitaker was the lightweight champion. He lost that fight on points. But he beat Wilfredo Gomez, who was a freaking. Wilfredo Gomez was a great fight with.
Recognize. Sorry, John Doe's is asking who did Salvador Sanchez lost to? He lost to Antonio Becerra, I think.
Jose Becerra.
That's the one.
Yeah. Tony Becerra.
I think he lost to him when he was. Don't quote me on
his first or second fight.
I think he was like 18 when he lost that fight, or 19.
It was like his 20th fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, he may have been like 8. Because remember, he started boxing when he was 16.
Yeah.
Because he died at 23. He had close to 50 fights. At 23. So he started, I believe it was 16 years old. He started he used to fight like at he was known for being a featherweight champion, but back then he used to fight like at 118, 115, you know, shit like that.
Yeah. That Becerra guy, he killed another guy in Mexico. He was, I think, I don't know if he never made it beyond national champion, but Antonio Becerra, Jose Becerra. If it was Jose Becerra, I just remember my dad or my grandpa telling me all these stories, so I recall that last name, if I'm not mistaken. But Salvador Sanchez was green. I mean, he was just.
Yeah, I think style-wise, he had the potentials of being better than Chavez, or I think he's a little bit better. But I think legacy-wise, obviously, because it's a complete, you know, it's a complete package deal. There's a period at the end, not by you know, some tragedy. I think Chavez is the greatest in terms when you put legacy on top of it. I think Chavez is the greatest.
There's some people in the chat. Sorry, there's some people in the chat saying, "Has Precise been on today?" He has been on today. He's currently on the thing. Don't think he's actually there, but you
know what, Gonzalo, I love having this conversation with you. We talking too much. Let's get the panel. Let's get the panel in, or else we'll talk everybody out.
No, I was saying, there's people asking about that in the chat. Apology goes, Butcher, can you see our boxing style as Cameron in BDA Arena? No, it's be a waste of time because I was winning that easily. Who else in the comment? Nelson got a robbery against Fiend. Yeah. Rocky Furner showed shades of Audley in there. Against Canelo.
Who?
I think they're talking about Field against Canelo. Oh, we got Stu back now. Stu, you there?
Hey, Stu, you there?
I guess not.
Breathe.
His 1G just went out.
You need CPR, bro.
So I had to meet boxing style there so you get a word in, bro.
I got CPR ready.
Mute him.
Stay muted, boxing style. Yeah, I'm trying to mute boxing style so you can talk, bro. Stay muted, boxing style, bitch. Well, there you go.
Oh, whatever, slut.
Stay muted. I've got to control it,
bro. Okay, all right, mute me.
You just set up. Man. You need to set up.
I just muted him again. fuck's sake.
Boxing style is the sort of guy you go on holiday with and it gets you banged up abroad. You end up on a documentary.
That's true.
I would say something, but
you can say something. I'd let you say something.
Nah, bitch. Nah.
Like Cameron, let's be fair. Let him say something.
As I'm saying, it's actually what we want to hear, not some bullshit.
Go ahead, Boxing Styles.
I would, but there's a family quarrel going on right now in background, so I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, we can't have that background noise. Unmute yourself when you can talk with no background noise. Cheers.
Oh, is that your girlfriend fighting?
Boxing Style don't get any girlfriend. What are you talking about? It's his mum.
No comments, bro.
He said he's married. That's what he told me.
Married?
Oh, I thought he was married.
Feel sorry for his missus. She must be going in a nut house.
I didn't know Armenians did arranged marriages.
Damn. Damn.
Fuck off.
John Doe.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, John Doe says Lewis Ortiz ducked Stanley Ketchel in 1908.
Yeah. Gonzalo, how do you meet all these fighters and trainers? You got a lot of stories on different fighters and stuff.
I met a lot of fighters over here in Tijuana, just in your regular hole in the wall gym. They're out there, even Julio Cesar Chavez, because boxing gyms basically it doesn't have to be nothing fancy or anything. You just go in there and you'll find them. If you just hang around there, when I used to do when I was younger. And they're there and training,
How far is Culiacán, Mexico from Tijuana?
It's about 8 hours.
Damn. So when Chavez, because that's where he's from. Originally, he was from Culiacán, no?
Yeah, he was born in Sonora. There was another fighter from Sonora, Mexico, that was his buddy. His name was Jose Luis Ramirez. He had over 100 fights too.
I remember him.
And I was looking at his record, and he beat Pernell Whitaker the first time they fought 2 times.
Yeah. A lot of people thought it was some controversy and shit, but I think.
But I
think he knocked down Pernell Whitaker.
And he beat the guy that you had just mentioned with the Suma Nelson. A really good fighter, the Puerto Rican.
Oh, Wilfredo Benitez, not Benitez, Gomez.
Gomez. And I looked at his record, and there's a few fights that were good. A lot of people think he's the most underrated, but I guess they don't hold him in high regard because in the end they believe he was he really was. He didn't have many good fights, many standout names. But if you look at his record, yeah, he's got a few good wins. And Chavez, like you were saying, as far as legacy, you would say that he's the best. And a lot of people would dispute that nowadays. But it got me thinking for a while. It got me thinking about that because when he was fighting, he was really popular, and till this day, his name kind of holds weight. But when people dispute that, what my personal thoughts about that is the boxing game has changed. Fighters nowadays, they fight 2-3 times a year, and when they make it to the top, they want to fight for a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, do you think they would have paid Chavez or any other fighter $10 million if they were to fight more than 2-3 times a year? Because he did a lot of tune-up fights or in-between fights to the big names that he did have. So let's say Chavez fights. What was one of his first good fights? Let me see. Back in the day, he fights. I don't know.
There was.
Who did he fight?
Gonzalo, sorry for jumping.
Yeah.
In, there was times where he had a fight, a big fight, and then he'll have another big fight 3 months later. But I didn't even know in between he had 2 fights in Mexico. I'm what the fuck? He had 2 fights? I didn't even hear about that.
What's besides LOL? What's the biggest fight that Chavez had?
the biggest fight, Rosario. I think Rosario. No, De La Hoya was kind of, he was older, but the biggest fights are, I would say, are Edwin Rosario,
and Hector Camacho, Meldrick
Taylor, Roger Mayweather, Rocky Lodridge, Juan Laporte.
Yeah.
Juan Laporte was a good fighter. Rocky Lodridge was a really, really good fighter.
Yeah, dangerous guy.
Meldrick Taylor.
Yeah. Did you see that? There's a YouTube video. There's a YouTube video where Rocky Lodridge,
Carmen, you're a dick. You're actually a dick.
There's a YouTube video where Rocky Lodridge knocks out this young guy in his hometown. They're like, "Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ!" And Rocky Lodridge is like 50-something, or he looks like 60. He flashed that dude out, man.
He knocked that crack.
Fuck.
Gonzalez, I forgot to ask you, bro. Who do you got? Yeah. What do you? I know. I'm assuming you're picking Canelo to win against Jacobs, but how? How do you win? How do you
I don't know. It's too early for that, man. When's the fight?
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh wow. I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that for a while. It's a good fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a question for my.
Who's playing
fucking
PS4 in the background?
I don't know. I got a question though. My brother Pete was he's on the channel as well all the time. He's got a question though about this Jacobs fight coming up with Canelo. He's saying like because Jacobs blew that fight day weigh-in last time against Triple G, came in like a goddamn monster.
For the IBF.
Right. So when what are the chances? I think he was asking Stu this. He was saying like, what do you think the chances are of him coming in just like that, just as big, blowing the fight day weigh-in and just coming in hot like that? He also wants to know how is it that Gonzalez is from the same shithole as in the Philippines as Pacquiao is from. Yet Stu has no reception and he's coming in crystal clear.
Hey, you know what's funny? I got this thing called Pocket Wi-Fi. It's like half the size of a cell phone, and I put it on a bamboo stick. I put 4 screws, and I slide it in between, and I have to put it on top of I have to perch it on top of the fence so I can get good reception. Because if I were to do that in my room,
Gonzalo,
whatever
you're doing, Stu needs to do it.
Exactly. I was gonna say the same shit, bro. Man, fucking Stu, bro.
Yeah, I heard he's having bad time with the reception, huh?
Yeah, who is playing PS4? Is it Stu?
Yeah. No, it's me.
Said that. Go ahead.
Oh, you're playing. I was playing FIFA last night, Stu. I'm pissed because I can't progress above the professional level. There's like 6 levels on the PlayStation.
Jeez, come on.
There's like
fuck that PS4 shit.
I was trying to turn the internet.
Speaking of PS4, man, there's a
one at a time, guys. Come on.
All right, Stu was going first. Boxing style, you're muted until he finishes.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I was enough on it, so try and get better. For fuck's sake, boxing style, do you ever shut the fuck up for 2 seconds?
Bro, I've been shut the fuck up for this entire fucking time. I haven't said it.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Go ahead, Steve.
By the way, I saw the trailer, guys, for the 2019 BDA. The trailer, it's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, Captain, he said that.
That was the most sarcastic. Yeah, that was hilarious ever.
That was my brother Pete.
I've never been a gamer. I've never been a gamer in my life, man. Apart from when I was like 13, that's when I started playing games.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I just don't have time for it, man. You know what I mean?
Guys play Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I'm like, I never got into games. I was too busy going to jail and fucking.
Yeah.
I hope not in that order.
You know what it is, though? You know what? It's because Cameron sucks. That's why. I mean,
Pete, I think.
Well, I definitely don't suck and mute. I definitely don't suck and mute in your ass, bro. I don't suck and mute in your ass.
Hey, Pete, is Pete there? Sorry, guys.
No, so I'm just gonna say I don't suck and mute in your ass, boxing style, right? That's the one thing I'm good at, muting your ass whenever I want.
You can do that shit, though.
Hey, Pete. The
No,
guy that asked the
no,
question.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
Pete's my
your brother. Okay.
my literal brother. He's in the chat.
I think I have an answer for your question, and maybe somebody else can chime in on that. For the IBF, so when he fought Golovkin, Jacobs did, and he there was a rehydration clause for the IBF title. He couldn't fight for that title, so if he would have won, he wouldn't have got that title because he didn't make their limits that they set to in order to get that title. But now so when he fought Deryachenko, he did make it. So he fought for that title, so he got it. So he did make the rehydration clause limit. So now that he has a title, he's forced to make the limit because that's the title he's defending. Every time he steps out with that title, now that it's his, he has to make the rehydration limit in order to for that title to be in unless he wants to vacate it before he fights the Canelo fight. And in order to what is it?
Gonzalo, you sound a bit like De La Hoya, man. I've literally just worked this out. You sound like De La Hoya, and you got this kind of twerk in your voice that sounds like De La Hoya.
It's just I don't practice English that much. I don't practice English that much over here in the Philippines because I really don't talk to anybody. And it's like I was saying, the first time I speak a lot of broken English when I communicate with my wife, and so it's kind of hard to me to be able to coordinate my words sometimes. But yeah, is that true? Is that what I'm? Is it? Yeah. Well, I'm from San Diego, raised in Tijuana.
Yeah,
But,
like I said, you don't look Filipino, Gonzalo. You must be Mexican.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
so what do you think? Is that right? What I'm saying, guys? When he fought Golovkin, he didn't fight for the IBF. He gave that up, but now it's his.
Yeah, he did.
It's his, you know.
Boxing style. If you keep muting me, I'm gonna eject you from the call. I'll eject you. If you keep muting me.
But now
I want to say something.
But
what do you want to say?
The IBF is his curse. The title is his curse because he has to make because it's his title. So he's cursed with the IBF. Now, when he goes into the Canelo fight, I think they know that. You know, he has to make it because he's defending. It would look pretty bad if you got this title, then before you step into the fight, I'm gonna vacate my title. You know,
I think Jacobs still might vacate, depending on how when it comes closer to the fight, depending on how he feels.
I just want to ask.
I let everybody talk, bro.
Wait.
I let everybody
Yeah,
talk.
let both stars go real quick.
No, Stu wanted to say something.
Stu, let both stars go real quick.
Always has a privilege over here, so let me white privilege, should I say?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, okay, all right. So no matter what happens, even if it's not the IBF, he's getting fucking KO'd with body shots, bro. That's what's gonna happen to Danny Jacobs. He ain't gonna be taking that shit because Triple G didn't land no real devastating body shots on it. And Canelo's, I think he's the best at body shots now, and he's gonna put it on him, and he's gonna put a pressure like none other that maybe Danny Jacobs has never felt before. It's gonna
that was completely off topic. But
that wasn't off topic. That's about IBF, bro. That's the IBF belt.
Precise. This is why we mute. This is why we mute him, bro. This is why we mute boxing style. He goes off topic. Nobody knows what he's talking about.
Anyways, I think Stu was next. Anyways,
Stu's been trying to talk for half hour. Boxing style just keeps on muting himself and talking over him.
Go ahead, Stu.
No, I just muted his ass. I just muted him. I want to ask Gonzalo.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, your internet's gone again.
Do you think this actual fight?
I did not mute him. Trust me.
No, his internet's gone again. Still, your internet is really bad tonight. Is there bad weather up there? Because it's not down here, man.
Oh, fuck knows, man. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Fucking thing, man.
Fucking amazing, dude. You know, Great Britain, they have one of the greatest empires in the history of the world. They invent the steam engine, the fucking jet, and they can't get my man Stu some fucking internet.
Great beating for a reason, man. Come on.
Boxing style is muted, Stu, as well, so.
We've got some of the.
Jesus Christ, you put your laptop underwater now or something, Stu?
Is Boxing Styles next to you?
That was
right
not
now?
me. That was not me.
That's Gonzalo. Is Boxing Style right
Yeah.
behind you, Gonzalo?
Yeah, I fucking bought Black Ops. I bought Black Ops the other day. I can't play the thing because I have to update it on the internet. It says 99 hours.
99 hours.
99 hours.
According to Stu, I sank the Titanic. That's what happened.
Yeah, cool story. Anyway, Gonzalo, to answer your quick question.
Yeah.
Why in Philippines? Is it because you got married or something?
Yeah, I got married.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I came over
you
here.
Want some advice? You want some advice? Don't bring her back to the West.
Who's
Do not
got
bring
that
her
dog
back to the
bark in the
West.
background?
Yeah, keep her in the Philippines.
Oh, thank God everybody's dropped off.
I haven't.
Okay, no.
Here's a bit of advice.
Can you shut up for a few seconds, Cameron, bro? Come on.
You don't like it, bro? Get off the podcast. That's what we all want.
Here's a bit of advice. Here's a bit of advice. Keep your missus. This is to Gonzalo. Keep your missus away from white women. They'll brainwash her.
Especially Western white women. They'll corrupt her.
They'll corrupt her, and she'll become a horrible little shit.
Apology. You stay away from all women. You stay away from all women. Apology.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Americanized Latinas.
Gonzalez, you'll wake up one day and your wife will have blue hair.
He's not even on a call, man. He's not even on this call now.
Yeah, well, he'll wake up and his wife will have blue hair and put on 10 pounds.
American Spanish women are terrible. Not all of them.
Listen, as long as they ride cock good, it's good enough for me. Anyway.
Except my beautiful wife.
Would you say if
right,
the cock is good? I
said if they rock.
Damn,
Of course you think that boxing style.
God damn it. Anyway, Gonzalo, just keep away from
I dropped
Western
on.
women.
It's better to talk about sex with fucking Filipino wives anyway.
My wife is cool. She's a Jehovah's Witness. She's religious. She's cool. She's a nice lady.
Yeah, keep away from Western women.
My wife is from Sweden. My wife is from Sweden, and we met in the Middle East when I was in the military. So
Sweden,
we got so we get married. We got married in the Middle East, and we had to go to this guy named Abdullah, who was the only man. He was the only guy in the region that could marry 2 non-Muslims. So I still have
keep away from Western women as well.
I still have the contract where the guy was telling me that if I hit her, make sure I do it with an open hand, no closed fist. Swear to God.
Keep your pimp hand strong. Keep your pimp hand strong.
Right. So I tell her, now we're in America, that contract still stands. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
No,
actually, in America, that's avoided.
The funny thing about Western women is, right, they're allowed to kick off at any time, shout and scream, nag your fucking ears off. Yet when one time that you'll be pissed off and tired, you'll probably lose it and say something you shouldn't do. And they hold it against you for life. You know, they're allowed to behave like they want to behave. But when we fucking kick off once in a while, we're fucking, we're kicked to the curb. They don't fucking answer our calls. It's stay away from these. Yeah, well, I ain't had the police called on me yet, thankfully.
Oh,
even after the scarf.
It's a thing of beauty. They call it cops on you. How great you feel afterwards.
Hey, recognize.
Yes, sir.
Hey, but isn't that true? Like when he fought Deryachenko, Jacobs he had to make the weight because now the title that he had forfeited to compete for, he was that belonged to him, right? So he was forced to make the rehydration clause, right, for the IBF. When he fought Deryachenko, that's why he considerably looked smaller for that fight and actually fighting under the rules. So for this one with Canelo, he's the one defending the IBF. He has to make the rehydration clause, right?
Gonzalo, don't you worry, my friend. Canelo got this covered. Trust me when I tell you, Canelo's got this covered. If that guy comes in there 190, Canelo's gonna be in there 190. Don't worry about
how much
that.
How much is Canelo rehydrating to this
he could just say, "Fuck the rehydration clause." Look how good he looked at 168, and then in the ring 185, whatever he was. He looked good.
Yeah, he did look good.
So he might not even care about that. That might be bad for Jacobs. Listen, Jacobs, as good as he's been, and I agree with Stu, he's the better opponent, and I would pick him to beat. Charlo, offer experience and resume, because just Charlo hasn't done anything for me to pick him. He does look a little bit. How can I say this? Even though he's experienced and still really good, he looks a little worn down, just a little bit. Like the fight with Jacobs, with Triple G, Derevianchenko, Sulecki, fights like that takes something from you. You know what I'm saying? And again, Canelo was in a hard fight against Triple G. Especially the second fight, because he stood his ground and he was so that means he got hit more. So but he's younger. He's younger. He's stronger. He's just he's in his primes.
I think the Arias, but especially the Sulecki and the what's the other fight? The Sulecki and the one he just fought.
Derevianchenko.
Those were really good for his boxing IQ, because those guys are really good boxers, especially Sulecki.
But he's always had a really good IQ, boxing IQ. At least I've noticed that since I guess when you get knocked out, right? When you just get put down like that. Not that he was sleeping, but he got dropped by the fuck is the guy's name that broke his back? Pirog. Yeah, Pirog. You just get better. That's what happens. Unless you're a dumbass, right? Like you just don't have no perception of staying out of danger. Jacobs is not. He's not stupid, but he got smarter, and obviously he's a better fighter, because I thought for sure he was gonna get put to sleep by Triple G, but look,
I did.
He fought off the back foot, and he fought a little bit in survival mode, but he did pick his. I thought he clearly lost the fight, but I thought that he had some success when he would for a moment stand his ground and then go back to backing up. Remember when he was doing that? He'll stand his ground, boom, 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 and then back up.
Yeah, but what? Yeah. So, but if he comes in overweight, what I'm going with this also, he doesn't keep his title, right? The IBF, he's got to surrender it.
So
and if Canelo doesn't make weight either, he doesn't get to keep it either. But the point is he's taking the fight in order to become undisputed. Right? He's taking the fight to become undisputed, right? That's the whole point of the fight, right? Because later he's probably going to want to jump into an Andrade fight. That's all I want to say.
Let Captain come in. Let Captain come in. He's trying to get in.
Yeah. So
let him in, bro. Let him in.
Yeah. Shut
up. The guys in the chat are reminding me here. There is no hydration clause if it's a unification. Is that true?
I don't believe so.
You know something? He could be. Time out.
When it was the Golovkin fight, it was a unification also. The Golovkin fight for the IBF.
Well, Golovkin,
there was a rehydration clause there.
No, you're.
Golovkin had the belts and who the IBF? What am I going wrong with this? The IBF. No, yeah, Golovkin had all the belts. He had the IBF.
He had the original 3 belts, which is the WBC, the IBF, and he was the super WBA champion.
Then, if Jacobs would have won, he wasn't fighting for that one because he didn't make the rehydration limit. But then later, Golovkin had to surrender the IBF because of the mandatory.
The thing with the IBF.
But now, yeah.
The thing with the IBF, right? Where they go wrong. It's a good thing, really, when you think about it, because they're sticking to their fucking rules, sort of thing. Where
good.
If you don't fight, you're in a big fight, and then you got 4 months to sign up for a mandatory. A lot of fighters are not into that. Then you got the £10 hydration clause that a lot of fighters are not keen on. So a lot of fighters are throwing this IBF belt away. That's why if you look at a lot of the IBF champions, you've got mediocre guys holding the belts because a lot of the top guys in the divisions don't want to go down that route of, hydration clause.
Can I say one thing that I remember?
Point.
Hold on, Gonzalo, 1 second. I'm going to tell you something that this is what I remember. Okay, when Triple G fought Jacobs, if you guys remember, the weigh-in was done earlier. The night, the day before the fight, they have a weigh-in, right?
I think it's like 36 hours before. It's a little longer.
Yeah, but this was that was a little longer, and then on top of that, Danny Jacobs decided that he's not gonna do the second day weigh-in. Okay, he decided he wasn't gonna do the second day weigh-in because Danny Jacobs was planning to gain a lot of weight so he can absorb a lot of what he felt was he was going to take a lot of punches in that fight.
Yeah, of course.
Which he did. Which he did, but he never took the second day weigh-in. Even though I think they even pushed the second day weigh-in a little earlier. But I know
he threw his belt away, bro.
Yeah, he threw the
he threw his chance of getting it because it wasn't his then. Now it's his. Now the belt belongs to him. That's his curse.
It's the same, Gonzalo. It's the same thing, mate. When you fight for a world title and you totally dismiss the weight limit knowing that you won't even get the belt, I mean, what does that tell you? It tells you that the guy's more interested in surviving than winning the title.
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. It would be interesting if he surrenders the belt that belongs to him. That he was able to get after, when the Derevyanchenko fight. Now the belt belongs to him. It'd be interesting if he's not going to make weight for his own belt. I don't know if he could even do that. And the whole point of this whole thing is we're looking for a unification in order to become undisputed because Golovkin, he tried to do that for so many years and he wasn't able because the things didn't align in his favor. Because he always made weight. This is a natural 160-pounder. Now, all these other guys, it's becoming really hard for for that to happen. Well, it's very easy because the fights are there for Canelo, and the belts are on the line. All the Jacobs needs to do is make weight. But if can Jacobs even not come in weight and sacrifice his own belt and gain the other three, but that would kind of make the whole becoming unified, throw it out the window, and that's the thing people want to pursue, right? Unified, because that's what Golovkin tried to do, but it just never happened for him. And right here, it's on the table. You can become unified and proceed to fight for undisputed. Because right now, who's been undisputed? And that's like the highest standard. What, Usyk and Crawford? So that's the goal here, right? That somebody's trying to pursue becoming undisputed.
Yeah, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Apparently, Mustas Castos in the chat said the IBF removed the rehydration clause after the Triple G Jacobs fight.
No shit.
So there's no more rehydration clause.
Yeah, no shit. That's why they removed it because more people were gonna start doing that shit, and then the IBF don't get their fucking commission.
Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense. They
did it. People are throwing that belt in the bin. I mean, look at the mandatories, because no one wants to fight in the IBF because of these rules. Look at the mandatories. You only got to look at Kell Brook when he was champion. His mandatories was Jojo, Dan, and Bizier.
Oh, God.
Well, they were mandatory. They were mandatories for the title. So this is why.
And they're not flex. Sorry. I said they're not flexible when it comes to mandatories. Remember, Tyson Fury wanted an extension or something like that because he wanted to rematch Vladimir Klitschko, and the IBF were like, no, you gotta fight our mandatory, which was who was the mandatory? It was
it was the guy that Charles Martin.
Yeah, with the guy who broke his leg, whatever ankle. Anyways, so yeah, they did want to give an extension to Tyson Fury. So I mean, the IBF would have made the right decision if they would have allowed to wait a little bit longer.
Okay, so there's no more rehydration clause. That's good. Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, that's good for. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's good for Jacobs.
How long will it be before Spence throws that belt away? Because I don't think it's going to be much longer that he's going to be able to make that that weight, you know, and plus the £10 limit. He's a monster of a man. He's a middleweight, and I just don't think he's going to much longer.
Yeah, but both Canelo and Jacobs blow up in weight, so I don't see this being an issue in this fight or a topic of conversation.
Canelo's more in this natural division than Spence.
Yeah. If anything, Canelo is a 154 fight. When you look at the attributes, he's got the height, the reach. He should be at 154 if he was a. But for some reason, he's one of them big guys. I think if Canelo stopped fighting, he'd be fat. He'd be walking around like Nassim Hamed. He's one of them guys.
Yeah, he has that build. He has that build.
He has that like that short man, stocky.
Mike Tyson a bit.
That kind of.
He could train for Mr. Olympia, because those guys are short.
Yeah.
Hey, is Canelo gonna fight coming forward, or he's gonna be counter-punching? Waiting for
He'll counter-punch, and I think he's gonna come forward carefully. Especially early. I think he's gonna wanna soften the body of Jacobs if he could do it. If he starts doing that, then he's gonna start, especially in the second half. I think he'll start walking Jacobs down.
So talking about Canelo coming forward and being the aggressor and potentially looking for a knockout, I heard that Boxing Style made a bet with Apology. So what's the bet about?
The stoppage?
Yeah, basically, if Boxing Styles lose, he's off for a month. If I lose,
$100. You owe me $100.
No, hold on, let me finish. If I lose, I have to find a girlfriend. And then come on,
but the thing is,
BDA live with her.
The thing is that Boxing Style sometimes disappears for about a month, so that's not really something he will really pay for. It has to be something else.
I was kind of joking.
Hey, $100, bro.
It's a fucking shame he doesn't get to pay for the
Put it on. Be a man. Be a man. That's not even much, bro. That's not even shit. That's
be a man, says the guy who only judges fights on boxes of bodies at weigh-ins.
What are you talking about, bro? I fucking watch all the way through before I make my decision. All the way. I like Stu who watches highlights of fights and says, "Oh, I know. That guy sucks."
The thing is,
that's Stu, bro. I shit you not. Go replay that shit. You'll find out who Stu is.
Boxing Style. The thing is, right? You watch the full fight, and I watch the highlights. I still know more about the fight than you do.
Richard, can you start BDA Arena, please?
What's that?
Can you start the BDA debate?
What do you mean start a BDA debate?
Cameron versus Boxing Styles.
Well, what are they going to debate about?
I'd be like Canelo fielded too.
Just let it happen.
I think Cameron will come up with at least with something to fight about. This motherfucker won't even talk shit, man. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Fucking impossible when you're running your mouth 24/7. None of us
are. Don't make me mute you.
If your wife hasn't fucking gone to a nut house yet and listened to your fucking shit every day.
She does go to the nut house. My nuts.
Silly fucking sense. All right.
One day, I'm gonna debate Boxing Style live on the BDA. I'm gonna put him out of his misery once and for all. I'm gonna retire him. It's gonna be such a beating.
Stay retired. I'm fucking Pacquiao, man.
Nah,
what are you
won't, mate. You're retired, bro.
Fucking Mayweather. What are you talking about?
You're doing Andre Ward.
I've never had a debate on this fucking channel. Even I'll be.
I got a question for you guys. So fuck this shit. Fuck all the quarrel. I got a question with you guys. Andrade, Jacobs. Who you guys got?
Oh, fuck off.
Andrade, Jacobs.
Jacobs knocks Andrade out cold.
Bro, but yeah, I see what you mean. I understand. You're saying he's gonna knock him out, but who asked Jacobs stop recently? Arias, he was supposed to stop. He didn't stop him. Suleki, yeah, he was a better boxer. All right. The technician, I mean, he could have stopped that motherfucker. Realistically, he could have stopped him, but he never stopped him. All three guys, he hasn't stopped. I mean, who is he gonna? What are you gonna
be
put?
fair, though, to be fair, right? Who stops Golovkin for one, right? Selecki is Selecki defensively is very skilled. He's going to be a very hard man to stop. Anyone that fights Selecki is going to struggle stopping him. It's just he's very defensive and he's sound at it. And was it Darovchenko the last fight he fought?
Yeah.
Okay, Darovchenko, you could give him a slide on. What about Arias?
Yeah.
Arias, whatever.
He's just tough. He's one of them guys that's just tough and strong, and he's going to be hard to stop. So I don't think we can give Jacobs too much shit about not getting these guys out of it, because when you start fighting world-class fighters, you know, with good amateur pedigrees, they're not easy to get out of there. They're not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And so what if Jacobs didn't knock out his opponents? He still won. And what the fuck has Andrade has done? Well, he hasn't done shit.
Andrade is a lot more slicker version of. Well, he's not. He doesn't fight like Jacobs, but
yeah, he looks slick against that African guy, man. An African guy nobody fucking knew.
Let me say this, Bucho. My bad. Are you gonna mute me or what?
This Cameron.
Yeah, he fights like Roy Jones Jr. Not exactly like the open. He's far from Roy Jones Jr., but he fights kind of a similar style where he is in a certain distance and he pop shots motherfuckers with good precision. And Danny Jacobs, and he has punch, he has power behind his head. I think he could. I'm not gonna say he's gonna stop him. No, he can't. I don't think he will stop him. But he will go 12 rounds and he will be the victor by a large margin, in my opinion. That's why Jacobs doesn't even mention fucking Andrade. He doesn't even want to talk about Andrade. You don't hear him talk.
Because nobody knows him, and he doesn't give you any money, man.
You think Andrade? You think? Sorry, Boxing Style. You think Andrade stops Jacobs?
No, I didn't say he stops him. I said he beats him 12 rounds. I said he beats him. He might lose a few rounds. He might lose like 1 or 2 or 3 rounds.
Didn't he have a real close fight with your boy Manis Martirosyan?
Yeah, he did, but that doesn't mean shit, man. Styles make fights, bro.
All right, listen.
Now you're throwing your favorite boxer under the bus?
Bro, he's not my favorite boxer. He's far from my favorite boxer.
Who dicks up his ass?
All right, let's talk. Let's do talk. All right, go ahead, Stu.
Andrade, he could quite easily outbox Danny Jacobs, but Andrade, I mean, people have not mentioned this. I don't really hear it from anyone. Andrade is very vulnerable around the whiskies, and he's there for the taking. I'm telling you, as soon as he gets hit clean by a world-class fighter, he's gone. You know, you only have to look at the last. Who's the guy? The Turk? Sorry, not the Turk. Where's he from? Jack Kulkai. He fought Jack Kulkai, and Jack Kulkai was rocking him to his boots. And this guy's just basically an average fighter at best. You know,
that's my point, though. Like that's my point. Luis Arias, he couldn't stop Luis Arias.
Boxing Style. Please let me finish, bro. If Jacobs lands clean on Andrade, mate, he's asleep. I'm telling you that now. I just, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think Andrade is as good as people say he is. All of a sudden, Eddie Hearn thinks he's great. Eddie Hearn never mentioned Andrade once in all the years he was doing videos. Never once did he say he was the danger man, the boogie man. Yeah, all of a sudden, he's got him under zone and he's the guy to beat. I mean, you know, let's not listen to Eddie Hearn and just look at the facts here. This Andrade guy, very skilled guy, but very vulnerable. As soon as he gets hit, he's going to crumble. I'll put my
That's what you think, though. But what did Danny do against Arias? He was supposed to stop him, bro. He didn't stop his ass. That's what I'm saying. Andrade's not the type of guy that gets clipped and that's it. He's not getting back up. He's gonna get back up. He's gonna play it safe, and then he's gonna fucking, you know, open up shots on him. That's what's gonna happen to Danny Jacobs. He's gonna lose that fight. Trust me. Because Danny Jacobs, I don't know what it is. I think it was before Triple G's fight. He has lost that fucking ability to stop people.
Boxing Style.
Yeah.
No, what it is, hang on a second, Tom. What it is, bro, when you step up to world class level, when you fight world class fighters. It's not. I keep telling you this. I keep telling all of you guys. It's not easy to stop them. I mean, you know, when you're fighting average fights, you're blowing away, you're hitting them. They don't fancy it, and they curl up in a ball and take the defeat. But when you're fighting guys that are hungry and just as skilled as you, they're not easy to stop. That's why they're world class fighters. So when you start stepping out, fighting top fighters with like brilliant amateur pedigrees, you're not getting them out there. So let's not pretend Jacobs has got worse, but it's only because he's stepping up the opponents. Let's drop him down another level and see how they start dropping then. They'll be falling left, right, and centre. It's just that he's fighting top guys.
I got you there.
Yeah, but you know what, Rick? Yeah, no, check it out. It's boxing style. Like to go along with what Stu was saying. These last three guys, I believe they were all undefeated. The ones that Jacobs won, which is really, really good on your resume. He fought 3 undefeated fighters. That's all.
Yeah, bro, I understand that too. But Luis Arias went around and fought. Who's the next guy he fought? I keep forgetting this kid's name.
Rosado.
Yeah, Rosado, and he arguably lost that fight. Rosado, for crying out loud, man. He arguably lost that fight. People are saying, I didn't even watch that. They're saying he arguably lost that fight. So you could have stopped that guy? I mean, I'm having a hard time seeing that Danny Jacobs, I mean, he might outbox a lot of guys, but he's not really going to stop anybody on that elite, the top levels. And Andrade's a guy, if you can't stop him, he's going to beat you on points.
He knocked out Peter Quillen in the round. At the time, Peter Quillen was the man they were all talking about, especially the LDBC. This guy was the danger man, you know, knockout artist. And Jacobs blew him away in a round. So, you know.
Yeah, but that's before the Triple G. That's what I was saying. Like, before Triple G.
So you expect him to fight Triple G and stop Triple G? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I didn't say that, man. I never said that. I picked Triple G over Danny Jacobs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying before that fight, he was able to stop people, but after that fight, he's never the same. Something's not right with him. Killer instinct is killing him.
It's called stepping up the levels, bro.
He's fighting the best of the best, and these top guys know how to not get hit with the shots that those guys got hit with.
You guys might be right. Maybe Luis Arias was a different man when he fought Jacobs, and he wasn't the same when he fought Rosado. He might be right, but I got this feeling there's something wrong after that fight with Triple G. He was not
more steroids assumptions and
no, not steroids assumptions. Just like he doesn't have that killer instinct. He doesn't have that when he sees the guy down. He just kind of paces himself. He doesn't really go off for the finish like he did with Peter Quillen.
Is it me or is boxing styles becoming the new? Yeah, like the new low place basically, with crazy predictions, crazy picks.
It reminds me of Battle Rifle. When Battle Rifle, no, was it Battle Rifle was on the show? Like he'd always disagree with everybody. He'd be very like he'd try to play devil's advocate. I feel like boxing styles turned into that. Bit of a clown.
Dude, listen. I'm not low place. I'm far from low place. I make my own decisions.
He was more tolerant.
I do not pick always the fucking guy that's gonna win, the obvious one. If there's some shit that fucking leads me to believe that the other guy has a shot, I mean, I could be like Stu. Oh, okay, fucking Dylan White's gonna fucking win Chisora fight. I mean, obvious. But I saw something in Chisora that maybe he could have pulled it off, and it seemed like he was about to pull it off until that 11th and 12th round because he won most of.
Yeah, but here's the thing about now. Here's the thing about style. I don't just say things to be different. All right, you saw something in Chisora, but I thought Dylan White would win the fight. So why am I going to say, well, I think Chisora will win it because I just want to be different.
I thought Caleb Plant would win the fight, and guess what happened? Caleb Plant won the fucking fight. I thought Tyson Fury was going to outbox fucking Wilder. Guess what? That's exactly what the fuck happened.
A lot of people said that, man.
A mile away, bro. Like you're talking about fight. Oh, okay. Let's say some fighter fought 5 years ago. Oh, he lost that fucking fight. Now he's a totally different fighter. You're gonna tell me, oh, you're gonna judge off that fucking loss? I mean, come on, man.
I'm just saying, like, you can't say you're always right. Look, you're on this channel.
I'm not saying always right. I've been majority right this past fucking.
That's your ego. That's it. You got the ego though, brother. You're sitting like, trust me, tell me, go back and watch the fight. That's your kind of guy you are, bro. Like you can't accept.
I would say that, yeah, I would say that, but that doesning mean I'm insulting your intelligence when I say go back and watch the fight.
Yeah, but the thing is,
people told me about Pacquiao and Horn that I lost. I had Pacquiao losing that fight, and then they told me go rewatch the fight, and I was like, okay, I'll go watch it. I watched it. And I said, oh shit, you're right. Pacquiao actually won that fight. I'm not afraid to change my mind if the evidence is there. You know what I mean? If the evidence ain't there, you're just saying shit, and I'm gonna say.
You say it with close fight.
The thing is, Marcus, now you force your opinion on everyone else, and you know, like I said, it's just our opinion, but you have to force yours. Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Go back and watch it. You know,
I don't, bro. I just say that's my opinion.
I keep it real, right? When I predict a fight, I just say from the heart who I think is going to win. I don't look at all these conspiracies, and I don't play the devil's advocate. Well, I just want to be different to everyone else. So I'll pick the other guy, you know. So I just tell it how it is, and sometimes I get it wrong. You know, at the end of the day, if we could all predict boxing fights, right, we'd all be rich, but we can't. It's a very hard sport to predict because it's a corrupt sport. So, you know, but getting predictions right, it doesn't really mean anything if you can't really break down any other thing about it. I'm not saying you don't. I believe you've got knowledge boxing stuff.
Well, hold on.
I actually believe you know your boxing, but I just think you play the devil's advocate, and I think that's why people get wound up with you.
Boxing style, do you think that you get most predictions correct?
Of course,
recently, yes. Recently, this past 6 months, I have 6 months. I'm on point.
I was about to say, do you keep track of this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, I know you're saying
I do. If I had made, I do, man. I keep track of my shit somewhat.
You keep track of their predictions unless you want
to.
We're gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to keep track.
Some fights, let's say for example, they're like low tier fights that nobody's paying attention to. I say, yeah, that guy's gonna win, and then he ends up winning, but I don't even give a shit. You know, like I don't care. But the ones that like we mostly talk about, I guess, or it's like, you know, high end fucking fights, I guess those are the ones I keep track of. Like I won't forget them. Like I got a good memory.
Of course, because you got them right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you the ones I got wrong. I could give you like 5, 7 I got wrong, and I could tell you like 15, 20 I got right, somewhere around that area.
Oh yeah, but fair play to you. You have got a few right recently, but it's like I said, it's picking from two guys. It's like tossing a fucking coin. Sometimes you're going to get heads. If you pick heads, sometimes it's going to land on heads, and that's just all it is. You know, you go and pick like a horse race from 20 different horses. It's a different kettle of fish. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to boxing, yes, you've got a few right, but sometimes all you got to do is like toss a coin.
Yeah, but it's not about getting it right in this motherfucking channel. It's like I want to hear your opinions. It's about I want to hear your opinions, but you guys slowly made it like, oh, see, Boxing Styles predicting the underdog and shit, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna change shit up now. I'm gonna actually really fucking look into this shit. That's what happened, and that's where I switched the shit up. I was like,
so you're blaming us? Are you blaming us?
The thing is, though, like,
yeah, no, I guess so, in a way.
I need to say
something real quick.
Go ahead, but we have to introduce Jimmy after that, so we're gonna introduce Jimmy after. Apology, says whatever he has to say.
Fair, I don't. I see Boxing Styles' point of, you know, predicting not the obvious and like trying to, because it's boring. I find it boring personally, predicting the obvious fighter, and then we get it right. Then so what? You know, he's supposed to win. So
yeah, the problem is
that's one of the reasons I picked Gassiev.
Yeah, so the problem is though, like if you're purposely picking the underdog for the sake of being different, if he then goes on to win, you can't then sit there and be like, oh well, I got this right, because you're doing it just to be a fucking idiot, basically.
No, I tell you what with Vanya's, I thought he could pull it off, not like win, but like pull off.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, guys.
Let's forget.
Hold on. I'm gonna speak. Well, not really.
I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine, and it was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
What's up, Jimmy?
What's going on, gentlemen? Seems like cut in on a good time, man.
Yeah.
Boxing Style, you're firing people up again, I can't.
Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy, I forgot to tell you, my tattoos weren't infected in the end, man.
What happened?
My tattoos weren't. I've got another one on my chest today. I had them all checked out, and none of them are infected, man. They were just still healing up. It's all good.
So it's all right. So the collar stayed in there, punched in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's all good.
All right, that's good. So it's just itching. All right.
What's he talking about?
Cameron.
Yeah.
Hey, Cameron, I'm surprised you ain't got a fucking Gassiev tattoo.
Do you know what, man? That might be my next one. Gassiev. Oh, I get fucking idiot.
Well, yeah, just I'll tell you what to get. I'll tell you what to get, Cameron. Just get Gassiev covering up in his shell, taking a shot.
Hey, was I the only one? I think majority of us picked Usyk, right, for this last fight.
Yeah,
I think most of us had him going in, right?
I'll pick Usyk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, not Usyk. I'm fucking butchering the kid's name. Usaki, the kid from Colombia. Oh,
Uskategi.
Uskategi, yeah. Uskategi.
Hang on a sec, guys. You want about Uskategi, yeah?
Yeah, did you guys pick him?
Huh?
Yeah, no, I didn't do it.
Oh, you had planned?
We didn't actually do a prediction show. So
all right.
No one could really.
But I think most of us picked Uskategi, though. Most of us picked Uskategi, that's for sure. But Boxing Style did.
It's hard to assess that.
Boxing Style did predict that Caleb Plant was gonna win, but so now he's riding on that shit, and
I'm not writing shit, bro. I just made a bet on it.
Let's forget last
But
year.
I actually said
and start again.
I actually said on one of the previous shows that Caleb Plant was no joke. I said he's tough and he's technically very good. But I didn't do a prediction, so I'm not going to sit and claim that I did. But it doesn't surprise me that he won that fight because Uskategi, like I said, he was the most. He was really hyped up by a lot of people because he beat a spineless Andre Durrell, and that's the facts.
True.
Yeah, even me, I know the guy, and I couldn't really make a prediction because I didn't know too much about Plant.
I just thought the way he walked through Jarrell, it wasn't just the way he beat, it was the way he beat him, and it seemed like he hit his stride and he was in good shape. I was just, to see him have no game plan, but I don't want to rehash that. I'm just saying, I was just surprised by his performance.
All right, Jimmy, so you heard about Canelo against Jacobs.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that fight?
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad he's not fighting a stiff. I wasn't like I was clamoring for a Triple G third. I don't know. I'm pumped to see it. I mean, I'll watch it and shit. I'm a little fucking soured on the whole middleweights right now. I don't know. Canelo really pissed me. What's that?
Why is that, Jimmy? I'm just interested to hear that.
I just got, by the time the fucking second thing and then the way that all went down, and it's not even Canelo, nothing personal against him. It just, you know what I'm saying? It just,
So what happened with Golovkin?
With that shit right now. But I mean, I'll be all fucking doing, I'll be all pumped up for the night of the fight. Don't get me wrong, but anything involving Canelo right now, and
so what happened with Golovkin?
The thing is, Jimmy, people talk about this 160 division, but when you look at it, most of them are fighting each other. Canelo and Triple G have fought. They're both fighting. Both fight Jacobs. Canelo's fighting him, sort of thing. It's not a bad division. When you look at the 147 division, none of these guys are even looking at each other. It is a horrible division. This used to be the best division in boxing. It's a horrible division.
Yeah.
When the PBC started, it absolutely was the most stacked.
Yeah.
And since then, like somebody, somebody's making a comparison the other day. I saw that, but look at like in the 2 years since the PBC started, right? Well, it's going on 3 now. Their key marquee fighter, without a doubt, was Keith Thurman. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And in the 2 years, he's done nothing. Gennady made over fucking $50 million, and people thought he was actually going to sign with. I can't believe I just never thought he would sign with Heyman. Didn't make sense, And now you got Bob Arum coming out and saying that about Heyman. And then somebody actually I was listening to a podcast, and one of the guys fucking people said Heyman ain't working. And the other guy in the podcast had to tell him, no, he's not with Heyman anymore. He's with fucking Eddie Hearn. Oh yeah. It's like, no, Heyman don't work with nobody.
Yeah, I mean, Triple G has to. I'm not sure who he's signing with. I think he should sign with DAZN because that's where the options are. If he wants to rematch Canelo, Andrade's there. Jacobs is there. And I think Billy Joe Saunders will be there as well. I think he could get that fight with the DAZN. He's already proved that by getting Billy Joe to fight Andrade. So he could definitely get him to fight Canelo and other people. So I think, you know, I think that 160 division is not as bad as people say it is. I think it's a good division. It's the 147 division that we need to be pointing out, because them guys are horrible. Coward duckers, all of them. I mean, since Spence beat Brook, who is he for? I mean, Crawford, let's be real, he fought Benavides coming off a terrible injury to the leg. That's not for anyone of any credibility. Yes, Benavides was a real hot prospect at one time. But you're not, when you're not fighting anybody, you're injured all the time. You don't become a hot prospect anymore. You have to be fighting. So at the end of the day, Jeff Horn. I mean, come on now. You know, so Crawford's not fought. Sean Porter's the only guy that could hold his head up high and say he's fought them all. And Pacquiao, but Pacquiao's Pacquiao.
Listen, Al Heyman has been in control of 99% of the welterweight division for a while now, except Crawford, who just arrived at the welterweight division. And we haven't had any conclusions as to who's the best welterweight so far. And that Al Heyman has to be blamed for that.
Absolutely. I still think he's hoping everybody dies out.
That weight class, it's kind of it's a lot of responsibility in a sense, for lack of a better word, because it's always been a very popular division. And so if you're not putting out fights and people are not seeing the welterweight division, you're kind of holding the boxing boxing public, the boxing aficionados hostage, you know.
And there's no need for it. I mean, Christ, you're under the same umbrella. There's absolutely no. Listen, when that first started, he had all that money and all those fighters. Do you know how good that could have been? Do you know the buzz he could have created? He was pulling down when Fox that first Thurman fight had 3.5 million average, and it peaked at 5 million fucking viewers. Mm-hmm. Every single event since then has gone down. These last ones, that Charlo, that was the fucking putrid. It came in last in the sporting events. It did no numbers. In this one, you think Lopez? You think Thurman? Who's he fighting next? Yosito Lopez? I mean, that's a fucking joke. That is an absolute joke.
The thing is, though, Jimmy, right? In America, Americans have got a lot of things to keep them occupied, because it's the most entertaining country in the world to live in. We all know that. There's everything there. There's all the channels in the world that you want. You have to put on quality for people to stop doing what they're doing to watch a fight. And if you're putting on Keith Thurman v. Josesito Lopez, most Americans are looking now that know anything about boxing. So what a load of shit that is. I think I'll go and do some house. And that's the problem. You have to put on the best fights.
No, and exactly. And it just goes to show you his contempt. Myself, personally, I just feel it's his utter contempt for the sport. He's never talked. I mean, the man doesn't do interviews. The things he was quoted of saying back in 2004 wasn't flattering about the sport. There's a lot of other stuff. I've been reading a lot of stuff. I'm trying to make sure it's accurate, but there's some shit online. If you look in the music industry, articles written about him in the 80s and 90s I've been reading about, and some pretty unflattering things said about him there, too. So I'm just curious. But I know he held the sport in contempt for what it did to his brother. And he told HBO executive many times that he could run this show. He could take it all over. And I still think he just doesn't care. Obviously, he doesn't give a fuck, or at least he doesn't understand the sport, because if he did, he wouldn't be putting on these fights. And the thing is, he's made such an isolated company, I guess, at the LLC. It's really, he doesn't have an office. It's basically, he has this woman who's his right-hand woman. She handles everything. He works kind of out of his apartment, and he has a nice place, but he doesn't really have a place to even be reached, and he just has no clue. And he's got it so fucking, the promoters, he'll fire anybody too. Like his promoters, like Lou DiBella's been with him for the regular. But if you look through his past, it's always different promoters he's going through. Because I was told if you question him, if you even question something as simple as the split on the concession stands, like if you're with the auditorium and you're saying the concession stands want more money, he'll fucking fire you. He just doesn't use you again. So it's just a joke. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree, Jimmy. Al Heyman is a very good manager. He can do good deals and everything else, but promoting fighters is not his strength. He's just a powerful guy, right? He's a manager, but when it comes to promoting a fight, building a fighter up, picking the right fight, he hasn't got a fucking clue. The thing with Eddie Hearn, right? Say what you like about Eddie Hearn, but Eddie Hearn will take the risks with his fighter. He put Joshua in there with Klitschko. Like, you know, that could have fucking folded everything for him, right? He's put, you know, he took Kell Brook over to America to fight Sean Porter at the time. You've got to take these gambles, and it comes back to help you. But Heyman is scared to death of defeats, so he keeps recycling these bums on the bottom of his fucking roster and feeding them to the champions. And like I said a few times recently, it's backfired on the guy. You know, look at the Charlo situation for a start.
Right. Inactivity mixed with fucking you play down to your competition. I don't care what sport it is. You play down to your competition. If you constantly fight stiffs and you don't fight them enough, it's what ends up happening.
That's what you get. That's the investment you made on your own company. You know, these are the fruits of your labor. And whether people will try to disregard that and play it out like nothing's really happening, in the end, this is the product of your decisions, you know?
No, absolutely. Hey, can I just make a side note too? I just found this out because I just got on the Twitter right before I got on the show. Broner, he's a fucking vile little prick, isn't he? What a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
The shit he said to Al Bernstein. Listen, I met Al. I'll tell you, you want to talk about a genuine good guy? Like, he's the type of guy you had a drink with him. When he asks you how you doing, he means it. He wants to know how you're doing. Like, he's a genuinely good guy. Doesn't fuck with anybody. For him to call him a bitch-ass nigger or whatever else he called him, what a douchebag. Like, what a douchebag.
I'll tell you a little
question, though, Jimmy. Question. You guys are talking. Question, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He said that he did something with Twitter or something. He was talking shit on Twitter. That's why he said that?
What he said, what I gathered, because I went look, he questioned, like he LOL'd something when he was talking about, somebody was talking about how unimpressive multiple weight champions are. And Broner is a 4-division champion. Do you think the closest that motherfucker is going to get to fucking Canastota is if he's there fucking, you know what I mean, driving by in the fucking, so that used to be a shoe into the hall. It's just become a joke. And Al just basically agreed. Yeah, no, these are light. These aren't, you know what I mean? And he's just being honest, talking honest. And Broner, because he got the intellect of a fucking, you know, I mean, he's got 7 kids with 5 women. He's got 2 open assault cases. Come on. The fuck, he robbed that jeweler. He's got 2 watches on. Did you see him at the press conference? He's got a watch on both arms. What the fuck? In case what? One arm's in each time zone? Fucking meathead.
So he
That girl's gonna humble him. That girl's gonna humble him. It's okay.
Can I just get in here? I've got a story about Broner, right? This is how easy it is to fool casuals to believe someone's a talent and they're not that good, sort of thing, and the media will build him up, you know, as the next Floyd Mayweather. What the fuck?
I'd rather listen to that boxing style.
Can you mute your mic, please, Gonzalo?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Okay, wait. Okay.
I got in a conversation on Facebook. I've got this friend, a blonde head. She likes a box, quite tiny looking.
Wait,
Gonzalo,
how do I mute my mic? Yeah.
I've just muted him.
Thank you. I know this blonde chick. She likes her boxing. She's not an expert, but she's into her boxing. And it, you know, it's a little boxing page we'll go on. Oh, for fuck's sake, man!
Oh, this is too good. Keep going.
Gonzalo,
I've just muted him, man. Again. All right, stop me on muting.
Well, for the 3rd time, you know. Was in this chat talking about, and this guy I know, he's a professional fighter, you know, and he likes to think he knows it all. You know, there's me who's not a professional fighter, but I've been around boxing long enough. And he was talking to this blonde-haired girl, and they were talking about Broner like he was the next Floyd Mayweather. They saw a flashy few KO highlight reels. They saw him doing the dance and, you know, being a dick, and they thought that what makes you a great fighter. And I said, this guy. I said, he's a weight bully. I said, as soon as he fights someone his own size, he's going to get smashed to pieces. And they were arguing with me, you know, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And look what happened when he fought Madonna. It just shows you how easy it is to convince the casual
Have you heard from those people? Have you got a chance to talk to that guy again since the fucking Madonna fight?
I said to him, I told you, didn't I? He goes, yeah, fair play, you did. I said, don't be fooled by flashy highlight reels and, you know, jazzy shorts, should we say? Because, you know, I could see what Broner, he lost to Ponce de Leon for me. He lost to Ponce de Leon. He beat a weight drained DeMarco. I mean, I just thought he was one of the most hyped guys in boxing. About billions, he was telling us. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then, and then you say, okay.
Go on, Jimmy.
Oh, no, I was going to say, what? And then you say, okay, and of course, every fight, right? Showtime does that 30-30, and it shows him with one of or a bunch of his kids, and, you know, this is why I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm focused this time. And then at the press conference, the week of the fight, you're telling a very powerful, respected man.
Relax, everybody. He'll come back.
Why does it always cut off? Why doesn't it cut off?
Sorry, I got popped off.
No, one thing about me, I've got the worst internet here, but I always stay on. It never kicks me off.
Sure,
I get zapped all the time.
Sure, you know, Jimmy, it's never kicked me or you, sure, off ever. Ever.
I get whacked fucking all the time.
You know what?
Jimmy's
you know
been
what?
a-
You
Jimmy's
don't
been
use
a
bamboo for your antennas. That's why.
Jimmy's always fucking shooting off. Jimmy's been evicted more times than I've been evicted from nightclubs.
All the time, dude.
Yeah, like I said, more times than I've been evicted from nightclubs.
Hey, Stu.
Yeah.
Hey, so maybe I just differ with you a little bit, but like when Broner was at the lower weight classes, I did like I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I liked watching him fight. Like I enjoyed watching him. Whatever, it was exciting. There were some KOs in there, and
yeah, because he was walking forward.
For sure. Yeah, no, I agree.
Hang on a sec. He was walking forward, walking through their punches, and just getting his own off. And because they couldn't hurt him, he was a massive guy. He couldn't make the weight. I mean, I think he was like 140 odd pounds one time when he's meant to be at 130 fighting. And you know, he was getting on. I think it was Escobedo. Escobedo he fought that was well overweight. The guy was a weight bully. It was like Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios looked like he looked like Rocky Marciano, a small Rocky Marciano. As soon as he started fighting people his own size, he started getting smashed to pieces. So that's all that Broner was. Broner's technically good enough to beat these guys, and he's a lot bigger than them. But when he starts fighting guys his own size,
I don't think it's that. I think he's just I think it's his mentality. He doesn't make. In other words, he's got the talent to stay in there. I think he could, if he would apply himself, that he could stay in at the heavier divisions. But he's, it was amazing to see at the press conference.
Yeah, but the thing is, bro, this is like I said. You're talking about, 1 minute you're saying he's good enough to hang in there with them, right? But
well, we don't know. I don't know.
No, but you're saying that, bro. But my point is, they were talking this guy up like he was going to be the next Floyd Mayweather. So you can't say he's Floyd Mayweather 1 minute and then, he's good enough to hang with his. I'm not saying you did that. I'm just saying he's good enough to hang with him because he's got the skills. He's nowhere near that level. He's proved that. Go on, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I know you, obviously we've never watched a fight together. I literally put the TV on mute when I'm watching a fight. Because I can't do it with the HBO or when it was HBO, but even Showtime and all the announcers, I can't listen to them because it fucking drives me insane to listen to these. They're fanboys, they sit on the side there, they hype the guy up, saying how amazing the guy's jaw is, how the guy's fist landed on his jaw and it probably hurt his hand. They really they go so far over and beyond. So I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying anywhere near that. I'm saying if he moved up and had work ethic and had any type of devotion to the sport, that he probably could have made something of himself, talent-wise, right?
Yeah. The only reason Adrian Broner is still boxing is because he's naturally talented, very talented guy. If he had work ethic, if he had the work ethic of say a fucking Usyk or someone like or Klitschko,
be killer.
This guy could the sky's the limits for him because he's very, very talented. But it takes more than talent to be a top fighter. You have to have heart. You have to have desire to win. This guy doesn't have any of that.
I wonder if that's like Jimmy.
This is a guy that on my cards lost to Paulie Malignaggi. Now let that sink in for a minute.
All right.
He lost to Fernando Quintero back in the day. He got his ass beat by a guy that was 7-0 or something like that, and then retired. Adrian
Oh, yeah, I
Broner, I'm
remember that
sorry,
fight.
guys. Maybe he has fast hands, but I've never seen him as talented. I mean, he's got some talent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on the guy completely, but I've never seen him as very talented. I never saw a guy with the boxing brain. His punch technique was always whack. His stance was all over the place. I didn't really see a bunch of talent. And when everybody was all over his fucking dick, way back in the day, I was telling people that guy ain't worth a shit, man. Fernando Quintero, watch that fight. Fernando Quintero beat the shit out of him.
I can see why you say that because I know how you judge boxing. You like your skilled technicians, but I'm on about. Like I said, his footwork's flat. He's flat-footed, you know. But sure. I do like the way he puts his punches together. Technically, when he's throwing his hands, he's very nice to watch. He just doesn't do it enough, you know.
Well, I mean, he's got some skill. Don't get me wrong. The kid's got some skill. He's just never what he was cracked up to be. He never was. Yeah. He just got a bunch of like gifts on the way up.
Yeah, besides, do you remember when people saying Pacquiao was ducking him? It was like 2013 after he beat Malignaggi.
Oh God!
Terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I mean,
man.
how can you let Malignaggi outbox you? I mean, Ricky Hatton beat the brakes off of Malignaggi, and Ricky Hatton can't box for toffee. He's just a brawler. But Malignaggi could outbox Hatton. So how did he outbox Broner? It just shows you the levels Broner's at. And then as soon as he got in there with Maidana, a hungry lion, I mean, he was rocked to his boots. To be honest with you, though, I think as soon as he started putting his hands on Maidana, he started hurting Maidana.
He hurt him with a left foot.
If he started the fight like that, he could have won. But like I said, it was all about a show. He thought, like I said, arrogance. And as soon as he got hit on the fucking chin, it kicked in, and it was too late by then. Do you know what I mean?
He doesn't have the boxing brain to react when they're punching him. He only can fight when he shells up, and then you hit him a few times, and he can kind of plan what he's gonna do. So he shells up, then reacts. But if you're attacking him and you're hitting him, he doesn't have the boxing brain to think of a good plan to implement in order to beat you when he fights you.
Broner is like.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Broner is like an artist who, takes a class at the fucking community college and wants to paint like Picasso all of a sudden, right? But what people don't realize is that Picasso, before he did all that crazy abstract shit, he was just a regular old painter. He got the fundamentals down. He learned how to paint realistic portraits and just, very like standard classical art. And then once he mastered that, then he went on to doing all that, crazy abstract shit. Broner he thinks he could get in that ring, get in the shoulder roll stance, and he thinks he could be Mayweather. No, before Mayweather was Mayweather, he went through the growing pains of just being a fundamentally sound boxer.
True.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
You do notice.
Hang on a sec, bro. No identity. He was so obsessed with copying Floyd Mayweather. He used a shoulder roll that he didn't know how to use properly, and he was getting caught. He wasn't blocking anything with the shoulder roll. You meant to fucking parry the shots and roll the shots. He wasn't doing that. Mayweather. I mean, I don't know why he got so obsessed with Mayweather. He should just put his own identity on there, his own fighting style, and I think we could have been talking about a better Broner.
I think the reason why what you guys are all pointing out is just a bad coach. He has a bad coach. He does not have a decent coach by his side to tell him what's up because he does have the talent. He does have the durability. He does have somewhat speed, hand speed, not like the greatest in the welterweight division. But that's what it is. That's what he's lacking on. The coach is not telling him exactly what he has to do and how he's supposed to fight and tell him to get the fuck out of Mayweather's nuts, pretty much.
Yeah, but people like Broner, you can't tell him anything. You can't tell people like that.
I would stop feeling sympathy for the guy because the things he says. Every time you want to start believing in somebody like that and giving him credit, and he turns around and just pretty much says the things he does, it's like it's hard to feel sympathy for a person like that, you know. So I kind of do wish that Pacquiao puts him in his place.
Hey, listen, anybody gets into the sport to get rich, to be a billionaire, if that's why they're in the sport, they're a fucking fraud. Because very few people become rich. You gotta love it. He was just an athletic kid, an inner city kid in fucking boxing where it was at. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's not just coaching. Look at how he leads his life. He's never had guidance. His father comes in the ring just to comb his hair. He treats his father like a donkey. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this. I'm sorry, man. Go
on, Jimmy. Oh, sorry, bro.
No, you go, brother.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, the problem with him, you know, it was a Floyd mate trying to be Floyd all the fucking time, and it was just embarrassing. It was, you know, this guy just he was trying to fight a style that he couldn't fight, and it was costing him. You know, I don't know. You know, he's got no business at 147. He's got no business there. He's not big enough. But the fact is, because he's not dedicated, he has to fight there.
Yeah, guys, I think Captain was trying to say something for a while.
Yeah. Well, and I hate to do it again. I just hate to keep on comparing the guy to Floyd, but like you could tell, like, so Broner coming, like what Jimmy was saying, inner city youth coming up, and he gets all on Floyd's nuts, keeps on being compared to him. But you see in like the Maidana fight, you can see his confidence, right? So like, you go back to like Floyd with Shane Mosley. He gets rocked, right? Say what you want about Floyd. I don't know, fan or not. He got rocked, but what did he do? He clinched up, and then he weathered the blow, weathered the storm, got out of the round, and continued the fight, and ended up winning, actually. But then you see when Broner gets hit with a shot from Maidana, the two things you notice. Number one, he, like a coward, he tries acting like he got fouled. Remember that when he went to the ground like a little girl, you know, and started grabbing his chin like he got headbutted. And
yeah, that was fucking brutal.
Right. And then going to his coaches, he goes back to the corner and has to tell his coach to calm down. Yo, the boxing I've done has been very, like, in the Navy I boxed. I still box for a workout, stuff like that. But even I know when you go back to the corner, you're not supposed to be telling your coach to calm down. It's supposed to be the other way around. Am I right, Jimmy? Like, your coach is supposed to tell you, okay, breathe deep. You know,
just a lack of respect. It's a lack of respect.
Right.
Yeah, you got to respect. Yeah, he didn't have any. He didn't have any. And again, it all comes from the way he was. It's an continuation of everything in that kid's life. And it's like, we're sitting here, we're grown-ass men talking about this kid. Let's just be honest. Within 2 years of that kid saying, I'm done, within 2 years, he's going to be incarcerated. And probably for a good stretch, too. And all that money he has, all those grills and his double watches, those will stop being fucking pawned off. Well, those will be taken anyways because he bounced the check for $1 million. Yeah,
exactly.
He's being sued now. So, like, listen, everything else is his house is probably under Heyman's name. And you know what I find odd, though? This Pacquiao fight, did you notice one thing? There was much more Floyd Mayweather promotions than I saw Premier Boxing Champions. So, like I've been saying, guys, haven't I been saying Floyd's a lot deeper into this PBC than known, probably for tax reasons. And he's a lot more powerful and has a lot more going in. And the fact it was Mayweather promotions more than it was PBC's tells a lot.
Broner, I'll tell you what Broner did. Broner saw a market in America because at the time, the thug culture was thriving in America. Anyone that acted a piece of shit seemed to do well, and but he went too far. You know, he became a bit cringy, and I don't think people took to him. You know, at least with Floyd, you know, he had a little bit of class about some of his stuff. You know, there's a little bit of class about him. I know he's a wanker, but there's a little bit with Broner. He's just like a retard. You think, what a fucking dope.
Well, the key thing between Floyd and Broner, Floyd don't drink. Floyd don't do coke. Floyd don't drink. Floyd, listen, for all his douchebaggery and his beating women and all his narcissism and his insanity, the motherfucker is probably one of the best conditioned boxers ever. Listen, that dude loved to train because that was his high. Whereas Broner just wanted the cars, the flash. I'm going to go out and bang back fucking. I mean, he openly. You ever see a video of him crushing up fucking pills and putting it in a cough syrup, drinking fucking. I mean, he's sitting there drinking narcotics. I mean, it's like making videos. You know, the kids are done.
It's because of Floyd's father. Floyd's father used to beat him when he did something wrong. Like Broner's father is just in it for the money, just using his child.
Exactly.
No, the kid was just a fraud, man. He's been boxing since. I just checked his box rec. He's been boxing since the age of 6. He had a shiny 319 record in the amateurs. Never beat anybody in the amateurs. Probably just fought on the Midwestern circuit where there's nobody really, you know. It's like he's just a fraud. He was never that good. He just got hyped the fuck up because he kind of looked like Mayweather with the stance, and then they just dick rode him to fame. That's all it is. Like, he was never that good or talented or any of it. I never understood the hype. I still don't get it. He's just another Andre Berto. He's just another Gervonta Davis. They're all just a bunch of fucking average boxers that never really amounted to anything, and they were hyped and given way too much fucking credit for what they were. Bronner, Davis, and then Andre Berto. I see the same shit with all of them, except I'll give Andre Berto this much: like, he actually dedicated himself and he busted his ass, and for how he probably overachieved actually.
Yeah, right, definitely with Andre Berto. It's only like about Andre Berto. I mean, I don't rate the guy at all. I think he's garbage. But when you see how much heart he showed against Guerrero, I mean, you cannot knock that. I mean, that's just pure heart. I mean, he looked like he'd been in a car crash. I mean, he looked horrible, and so I don't rate Berto, but I respect.
When you see eyes shut like that, by the way, guys, that is so fucked up. That's so rank. That means his trainer let him blow his nose. Your eyes don't swell up like that unless you're stupid. Like, his nose was broken probably. And what happened when you blow your nose, and if it's broken, sometimes the air will just swell your eyes up. That's why they tell you never blow. Suck back. But
I mean, I don't like to bring race into this, but when you look at a lot of black fighters, they don't really mark up badly. You can hit him with a fucking hammer and they don't really mark up. But Berto, I mean, he looked like fucking hell. He looked terrible. He looked like he'd been in a train crash, not a car crash.
No, it was jacked up. I've never been a big fan. I agree with everything Precise said about him. I know, I'm almost positive he didn't do anything at the national level in the gloves.
No, he was like a junior silver gloves champion or something.
Yeah, I have a question. Was it the Bruno who started this wide stance, dragging your feet back thing? Because he's the first person I saw, and now every American's doing it.
To be honest with you, I think Floyd it's kind of a common, because actually Jones did it a little too prior to Floyd. It's shoulder roll. It's, you know what I mean? Like, Floyd, it takes a little bit of adoption, but and the dragging the foot, the dragging the foot like that, it was a few guys back in the 90s started doing that, and it's just not a smart thing because listen, if you get caught, the worst thing to do, man, when you're fighting is lean back. That is the absolute worst fucking thing to do. And that's part of his defense is leaning back because you're completely off balance. You know what I mean? And Madonna figured it out. He waited for him to lean back, and then boom, he was waiting for him.
I think with Floyd, though, I think, like I was saying about Klitschko the other day, doing the same thing. He blocks a lot of his punches with his arms. He keeps his arms up quite high, the guard up high, and you have to loop the punches around his guard. He's very good with his arms. He puts his elbows in your face. He's very dirty. But when he gets behind that shoulder roll, he's very hard to hit clean. I mean, that shoulder roll is very successful if you know how to do it properly. But we've seen so many fighters down the line try it and they get bashed up.
It usually doesn't work against taller guys, but
I was just gonna answer apologies saying that I'm pretty sure Ken Norton kind of fought like that.
Exactly.
Young George Foreman did it, and I'm pretty sure Sonny Liston also had that problem. So like, there's always been fighters who fought like that.
Ken Norton, nice, precise.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah.
You're right. He hit hard. That motherfucker could hit. Woof. Norton could whack. He went on to do some Hollywood shit after a while. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, Ken Norton.
But my main point, I've been noticing a lot more nowadays. Like, why is it catching back on?
I don't know.
Because
It's
there's
nothing
just
I
no
would
good,
teach.
no good trainers, man. I don't know. They lost the continuity from when America was in their heyday to now. Something happened. Just the amateur program fell apart, and that's where you learn the basics, right?
Exactly. Couldn't say it better. Yep, and it's exactly the amateur program. Dude, when I was a kid, the gloves were sold out 6 months in advance. Now you can buy tickets the night of the fights.
Yeah, nobody cares about amateurs anymore.
Yeah.
I was
Think about
gonna say
anybody could be a
Mayweather-
fucking trainer these days.
What?
Right, I know. When I was a kid, man, it was such a big ordeal. It was 10 gyms in a city of 110,000 people. 10 fucking gyms. Imagine that. I mean, that's everybody did. And amateurs, obviously, they hold the nationals here every year, so in the regionals. So it's always been big here. But back even in the Olympics, man. Listen, this country came to a fucking standstill back in '84 when the Dream Team, they had Muhammad Kawi, Evander Holyfield, Medrick Taylor. It was nuts. I mean, the Olympics were awesome back then. '88 when Jones got fucking screwed.
Was that the Breland one as well?
Yeah, Mark Breland. Yeah, fucking Wilder's coach.
Back then, the Americans are very good.
That '84 team was insane.
Yeah, back then the Americans had a very good. Yeah, they had a very good amateur.
I think they had 5
I don't know
gold
what happened
medalists.
to the American amateur scene. I really
Political correctness started shutting the
What
gyms down.
happened to the
Concussions.
American amateur scene?
Political correctness, concussions, just the whole thing. It's the whole thing away from violence, the violence of the sport.
Yeah, the libs are the libs.
Oop, I think I got dropped.
All right, you guys done talking?
No, you're still here.
Oh shit, I am here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm done talking, dude. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, nothing. I was gonna say one fucking thing. Every time I said something, somebody had to say something. Well, I was gonna say that one thing Mayweather does that even some of these cats that do the what they call it, the Philly, I keep forgetting the name. The Philly, help me out here. Philly, what's it called? Philly shove roll. Yeah, what he does was he that nobody really does. Even if they try to copy him, they can't really mimic him perfectly. Is counter right after that shit. If he rolls a shot with his shoulder, he counters perfectly. Especially when you watch him fight Canelo, you could see it beautiful. Like every time Canelo threw something, he would counter perfectly with the roll right afterwards. The closest thing was Tyson Fury that I saw that came close to that with the defense, but he can't counter after the shots. He had a hard time doing it because, Floyd is Floyd. You can't. Every fight is different. You can't really mimic him.
No. Yeah.
Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you too. Sorry about my dog barking in the back. He just gets crazy sometimes.
My problem with
I didn't
Floyd,
even know how
mate.
to.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Be careful, no one
It
needs
can
it
be
out
done.
there in
My
the
dogs do it
Philippines.
sometimes. You can't. Yeah. My problem with Floyd, right? I don't mind him being on the back foot, playing it safe when he's fighting a killer. But when he's fighting Robert Guerrero and people like that, and he just sits on the back foot, just pop shot his way to. That was my problem with Floyd. What about you guys?
100%. Although HBO went out of business because they lost him.
It's no different though from like a lot of sports. You could parallel it with the NFL. No, like the Patriots. I don't mean to talk too much about football, but the Patriots, they only turn it on during the playoffs. They only turn it on when it's absolutely mandatory that they win. Which you can't fault the coaching staff for doing that because it's the smart thing to do. But is it good for the sport? Absolutely not. Because what happens when the casual turns on? what happens when the casual turns on the fight or turns on the football game and sees the clunker, you know? So you get a casual who may be coming back to the sport of boxing, or you know, someone trying to show their young son how to, you know, the sport of boxing. They turn on Guerrero Mayweather because it's pay-per-view. It's the big fight. You know, let's turn it on. I haven't seen it in a while. And then you watch that. You know, can you fault the guy? No, because he's winning. Okay, fair enough. But that's not good for the sport, you know?
Hey, I'm going to ask you only because you brought up football. Are you a Chargers fan by any chance?
No, I'm not. I'm a Buccaneers.
No, I was being funny, remember, because you just said Patriots. So
no, I know. I know. They're just a parallel.
The thing with the Patriots, the thing with the Patriots, it's like the Italian national team. They look horrible for most of the year, but when it comes to the big games and the ones that count, they do the business.
They turn it on.
They turn it on, and you've only got to look at the trophy cabinets and you know how many medals they've won, sort of thing. So I'd rather see the Patriots like stumble across the line in the preseason, whatever you call it. Is it the preseason, whatever you call it? And then when it comes to the playoffs, then turn it on. It's like the Italians, they used to do the same.
And I'll tell you, Stu, right?
No, I was just going to say the difference between, and I don't watch team sports really, a little bit of football here and there, soccer. But the difference is that, you know, whatever that is, this is fighting. Like you're supposed to be fighting, you know what I mean? And back in the day, when boxing was really exciting, if one guy just ran and ran and ran, he got disqualified or he lost the fight. And now it's like this guy just runs away. He doesn't do any damage. He outpoints somebody amateur style, even though the other guy lands better punches and should technically win the fight because he's pressing the action. You know, because the sport is corrupt, they give the decision to the guy running away because he's the moneymaker. So I get the analogy, but I think it's just a little bit different because, you know, this is the hurt business. It's the fight game. And you know, with team sports, you always have exciting games, then you have shitty games. Boxing is supposed to be exciting all the time. Like it's supposed to be.
I was speaking from a fan's point of view. Like if I'm a fan, listen, I don't get behind, like I get behind a couple fighters, but honestly, I just like seeing the damn sport. It doesn't matter to me who's fighting. I like watching it, you know? So the more exciting. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to tell you, like, as you mentioned the Patriots, when Mickey Ward got me a job with Rhodes Corp, that was the company he was working for, and they would had the Route 95 gig, you know, to do it over, and it ran right across Gillette Stadium, you know, right in front. So we were there for like 6 weeks. And one thing I learned about Belichick, right? Listen, it's a culture thing there because we used to eat, right? We'd see him show up. They would have one guy every day with a piece of paper, right? And he would fucking be writing it. And it was like the 3 minutes. If you passed 3 minutes, the last person after 3 minutes before you're supposed to be there. And I guess he would purposely go at Brady. He would treat Brady just as bad as everybody else. And obviously everything came out. So I'm just saying it's a culture there. There's no other team where, listen, Belichick, they drill fucking special teams until fucking those guys are passing out. No other teams do that shit. It's attention to detail, like Stu was saying.
But you see,
Belichick is the Alex Ferguson of American football. He gets the best out of even the average player. If you look at the Patriots, there's
no
stars.
There's
no
none.
Stars in this club.
They got one guy going. They got one guy going to the Pro Bowl.
I remember when they beat the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and all the white supremacist comments were coming out because they had a few white dudes in the fucking team, and because Brady supported Trump. You know, it was white supremacy versus the free world. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't believe what I was hearing, man. You know, because the guy that actually won the Patriots the Super Bowl, he was a black dude. You know, I think what was his name? He won he got the winning try in overtime. He was actually a black guy that won it for him. So I didn't get all this new, you know, fucking hell, what's the
you gotta understand, Atlanta, that's the wealthiest black community. Like it's got the highest amount of wealthiest blacks live in Atlanta. It's a very strong black community, and so that's I'm just saying that's I mean they were tweeting. Did you see that one singer, fucking Chris, whatever his name is now? But he was doing that video, fucking. He was saying some pretty stupid shit. Look at the score. And he was there, and he was right, and then like they were winning by 20, fucking 8-3 or something going into halftime, and he kept like people around him were sending video. It was hilarious, but yeah, that was crazy.
But like the difference. I don't think I made my point very well, so I'm going to try again. Like the difference between team sports, like in basketball, for example, you have a shot clock, right? You can't pass to the backcourt. In soccer, football, when you pass the ball to your own goalie, he can't grab it, right? He has to kick it out. There's rules that keep the ball in play, that put a time limit on you, that tell you to hurry up. You got to do these things in order to keep the ball in play and keep the game exciting. You can't just like run around with the ball in basketball backcourt, and just run away from the other team, right? You can't do that. You'll get penalized for it. And boxing was designed to be the same way. You can't hold. It's illegal. If you start holding, you lose the fight. If you run away, you lose the fight. And what boxing has done, it's relaxed those rules. It's the corruption has come in and allowed these guys to cheat essentially by running away, by grabbing hold of their opponent, slowing down the tempo, and now they get praised for it, for these so-called veteran tricks and bullshit that in other sports, at least the way I understand them, that you have specific rules to avoid just killing time basically. And in boxing, you used to have that, but no longer do.
Turning your back in boxing, instant point taken away. They would warn you once. Now it's a fucking. I can't believe how many people turn their backs and either walk away or turn their back on a fighter and then complain they get punched in the back of the head. It's amazing.
Or bending below the waist. You're always supposed to have your chin up, right? But they allow them to do things that make the fight less exciting, because when you're, bending below the waist and you have your head down, you're not giving your opponent a target. So there's all these tricks that like fighters get away with now that just slow the tempo down and make the fight awkward and ugly. All this wrestling, all this other bullshit. There's no place for any of that in boxing, but they allow it. That's why
I know he gets a lot of shit, but Jack Reese, I think he does a pretty good job sometimes, especially about guys turning their head. He always says, "Stop turning your head." At least he's one of the few refs I hear say that.
Yeah,
it's an equal parallel though, because it's sports wide in America, because you got the NFL the end of it too, because it's like they too are getting away from hitting. They too are getting away from hard nosed football.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I think what happened was that in the 80s, when these boxers like Sweet Pea and a few other defensive masters, I mean, they existed back in the day too, like Willie Pep, Slapsy Maxie Rosenblum. Fighters that didn't go in there and fight, but like more so nowadays, when you started getting like really good hard hitters in there punching, then a few boxers reverted to showing a good defense, and you had like these masters like Sweet Pea and Floyd Mayweather and
no,
like
you're
a novelty,
wrong,
and
bro.
it was kind of impressive.
You're wrong, because Sweet Pea and Buddy McGirt, they hold the record for the most punches thrown in a fight. Sweet Pea was a very exciting. Yeah, he was defensive. Yeah, he used a lot of movement. But Sweet Pea threw a lot of punches, bro. Willie Pep, he threw a lot of punches too. These guys were active. They fought. Just because they were also good at defense, that doesn't mean that the fight sucked. Now, maybe some people didn't like the way they fought, but like, bro, Floyd Mayweather will throw like 15 punches around sometimes.
This is where I'm going precise. And this is where I'm going. I agree. This is what happened after we saw Mayweather take it to the limit. He took it to the limit. He didn't throw enough punches, and he overplayed the defense. It got to the point where it got so played out that even the fans, the rich people that pay for the sport, they saw it, and they were on the bandwagon. Yeah, with the defense and the slick fighting style. But it got so overplayed that people right around this time, they got so sick and tired of it that we're kind of going, because people complain. People always talking about this style is boring. And I think we're going to kind of see a change now, where it's going to go where, like, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Canelo's got the belt now. Golovkin had, before him, the middleweight belt. These guys are exciting fighters, and I think that's what the people want to see. So more so now that, the judges, they're still the ones that score the fights. You know, who tells them that we have these criteria in place, that's how they should be applied? I don't really know who decides that. But so if defense is a scoring criteria, I think more so now it's going to go back to where like it's effective aggression. That's all I was trying to get at. I realized that there's really these good boxers and to put punches out and have a good defense, that's great. And Mayweather did it, but he started overplaying it too much.
Mayweather's defense is like the most overrated fucking defense in the history of the sport, man. He's not a great defensive fighter. He's just good at fucking running away and avoiding but how often does he capitalize off his defense? Almost never. He's just out of range, or he's on the ropes fighting a bum that just goes left right. So he turns to the left and he turns to the right, and people think that that's amazing defense. No, it ain't.
Bro, Maradona was able to
hate. You gotta give
Maradona was able to counter him. Like,
no, I know. See, I know what defense is, and Floyd Mayweather had good defense, but the way people sucked his dick, acting like he had some amazing defense that we've never seen before, that's ludicrous. It's the most overrated fucking defense I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
he was good. He was good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Maidana was catching him all the time. Why? Because Maidana
arguably beat him.
Floyd fought guys that would throw left hand and then the right hand, and then the left hand and then the right hand. What did Maidana do? He doubled up on the left hand. He doubled up on the right hand, and he was able to hit him. Floyd wasn't very difficult to hit. It's just that he fought fucking overrated guys or old guys, or he just picked his spots masterfully. He'd be out of range, and then when you made a mistake, he would capitalize on it. But his defense is.
That's what happens when you move up in weight divisions, bro. Though, like, I mean, how many weight divisions he's went up to? 5 weight divisions. The last 2, of course.
That doesn't matter because that's true weight at the time. I mean, 126, 135, 147. That's his natural weight. Look at Pacquiao. Look at Pacquiao. Look at Pacquiao. Pacquiao could have been really a 9-division champion. He skipped a division. And Pacquiao, guess what his natural weight really is? It's 140 pounds. And you know how many defenses he had at 140 pounds? 1 fight. And that fight was against a Ricky Hatton, which he totally annihilated. And he went up to 147. Then he even went up to 154. But he said, hey, you guys can keep that belt because, it's too much weight for him. And he was exciting.
Yeah, go ahead.
In my opinion, I think Floyd has one of the best defenses of all time, bro. I mean, you guys could hate on me for that.
So where was his defense in the DeMarcus Corley fight? What was he getting tagged up by DeMarcus Corley left and right? What was his defense in that fight?
Styles make fights, bro. It didn't work out.
No, where was his defense? Where was his defense, though? What happened to the defense?
It was not.
I'll tell you. If you can't tell me, I'll tell you what happened to his defense.
You know what?
Floyd stood his ground in that fight, and he exchanged with somebody. That's how you prove you have good defense, where you could throw a punch and get your hand back up to your face to defend. Or when you throw a punch, you don't open yourself up. People always talk about how Golovkin is easy to hit. That's fucking clown shit. People don't know what they're talking about. Make Mayweather fight the same way Golovkin fights, and he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. The fucking jab he just fought, because Mayweather was coming forward, was able to tag him clean, like he didn't have any defense. It's when you don't throw. This is look. Let me finish. This is a simple equation. The fewer punches you throw, the less you're gonna get hit. Period. The best way to judge good defense is in the face of offense. When you're in the pocket and you're fighting somebody, exchanging punches. If you could defend yourself in that position, that's good defense. Running, clinching, and being out of range for the most part, that's not good defense. You're just being defensive. There's a huge fucking difference. So when Floyd Mayweather fought DeMarcus Corley in the pocket, he got tagged the fuck up. Whenever he stopped and tried to attack Pacquiao, he got tagged the fuck up. Because he can't offend and be defensive at the same time. Because every time he throws the right hand, the left hand drops. Every time he throws the left hand, the right hand drops. The motherfucker doesn't have a great defense.
I mean, look, just listen to this. No, just listen to this boxing stuff. Listen to this boxing stuff. Okay, really fast. Sorry for a second. When Mayweather fought a UFC fighter and he knew that the UFC fighter had no boxing experience, and he went forward. Mayweather totally looked amateurish. He looked amateurish. He moved forward, and he was getting hit, and he didn't even look that confident. Like he was out of his element, and he still worked. Yeah.
Yeah, can I say something real quick?
I mean,
hold on.
I was gonna say something, bro. Like, I mean,
yeah, I was.
I was gonna say something.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say that. I mean, when you watch Pac, I mean, I saw a lot of shots Pac missed, bro. I mean, with this Philly style that he has, he made a miss and he countered him. I mean, that's his fucking style, bro. He has good defense. He has actually.
That fight. You know what, man? That fight. I hate to beat it. Yeah, go ahead. Apology.
I was going to change the subject. Go ahead. I was going to say
I hate to beat how's the expression go? I hate to beat a old horse to death, or how's it go? Anyways, I thought that fight Pacquiao won, to tell you the truth.
I mean,
speaking of defense,
if you think Pacquiao won the fight, I have nothing
against that.
One round.
Speaking of defense, Pacquiao's defense is never talked about, like ever.
Pacquiao has excellent defense. One of the best defenses of an offensive fighter you've ever seen. How do you go? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, the way he slips out line, the way he gets in and gets out while still being in the pocket is just amazing, man.
I mean, how do you think he was able to beat these bigger guys like Cotto and even Margarito, throwing so many fucking punches? You have to have good defense in order to be able to wear these guys down with. He was landing like 40 punches around Cotto. Yeah, he got hit, of course, because when you land that much and you're that aggressive, you're going to get hit. But why is it that Cotto, who is the bigger puncher, no doubt about that, the bigger man wasn't able to get Pacquiao out of there and beat the fuck up? It's because Pacquiao has excellent defense. There's no other way you could explain how this little guy can come forward.
Yeah, nobody said that Pacquiao doesn't have defense, man. Pacquiao has excellent defense.
I never said nobody said Pacquiao doesn't have. But he doesn't get praised for having excellent defense when he does. A guy like Golovkin doesn't get praised for having excellent defense. But that's what I'm saying. We're comparing a guy that runs away, clinches, and bends below the waist. We're comparing that guy's defense to a guy that comes forward and throws 70 to 80 punches around. It's ridiculous. Make Mayweather fight, throw 70 punches around while coming forward, and then we're going to have an accurate comparison of his defense. Or make Golovkin box on the back foot like he did against Lemieux, and he got caught with 4 punches in that entire fight? You know what I mean? Because okay.
I think it was exactly
a little bit more. Exaggerating
styles. I think
it really doesn't take away from the fact, though, that, and I think what Precise is getting after here, and I sort of agree with him here. I think what Mayweather does is amazing. I think his defense, I shouldn't say his defense. I just say what he does is amazing, right? Not being hit. However, it makes for a boring fight because he doesn't have balance. So the immediate fighter that comes to mind is Roy Jones Jr., one of my favorites of all time. He was exciting because his offense was great. And his defense was great, but at the same time, he pressed the action and then slipped punches and then would not get hit. But at the same time, brought action. So I think what Precise is going there for is balance. He has no balance. It's not a balanced fight, which makes boring fight.
He's overly
with Roy Jones. Yeah. With Roy Jones, I don't think his offense was great. I think it was just his reflexes. Because once his reflexes died out and he became an older man, his boxing defense didn't avail him. So, yeah, but
what is offense, though, right? It's like countering could be considered offense. Is to boil it down, offense is when you're throwing a punch. I mean, I don't see how you could classify throwing a punch or a counter as defense. I don't see how.
Roy Jones Jr. was one of the biggest cherry pickers in the fucking history.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he was.
You know how many guys he ducked? Do you know how many fighters Roy Jones Jr. outright ducked? I mean, it's like at least 20 different fighters, man. Like
even if he ducked, though, man, he was pretty fucking talented. You got to give him that.
Well, I'm not saying he wasn't talented. I'm saying when he got in the ring with somebody that actually had boxing skill and had good size and was good, well, he got beat and then he got knocked the fuck out. So, it's just what happened to him. He got exposed by Tarver. I know people don't want to give Tarver credit because Roy Jones Jr. supposedly came down all this weight. No, he didn't. McClellan, Collins, Michalczewski. I mean, people were calling him out left and right. Frankie, I forget what his name was. I mean, there was like literally 20 different fighters that were trying to fight Roy Jones Jr. Rocky
Mike
Gianni.
McCallum.
Yeah, he just Calzaghe. I mean, come on, he ducked so many fights.
Giroff.
And then after he was able to beat Green Bernard Hopkins, he didn't want that fight. After he was able to beat a weight-drained James Toney, he didn't want that fight again. I mean, people kept chasing him and he just kept ducking. I'm not saying he wasn't talented. I'm not saying he wasn't good. I'm not saying he wasn't the most physically gifted fighter perhaps in the history of boxing. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is that he cherry-picked and he fought the guys that he knew he could beat. And then when Tarver became his mandatory and he could no longer duck him, I mean, Roy Jones Jr. almost bankrupted the WBC because he kept ducking his mandatories. Like,
okay, he ducked him. I got it. But you can't tell me the difference of speed that he lost when he went from heavyweight to all the way where he went down. You can't tell me the difference. You saw a difference in there. Like, he was not the same.
Every weight class. Yeah, okay. Every weight class that Roy Jones Jr. moved up, he lost a little bit of speed naturally. That's just what happened. And yeah, as he got older, he lost his speed. There's no doubt about it. But what Tarver did is he fought him the way you're supposed to fight the guy, and he beat him. Okay, it wasn't the best possible version of Roy Jones Jr. He put on a lot of muscle as he was moving up in weight, and shit happens. He lost a lot of his speed, and some of his reflexes. You know, fucking shit happens.
I wouldn't
don't
say
get me wrong.
some. I say significant. There was a significant speed.
Well, I mean, look at Roy Jones Jr. in the amateurs, how fucking blazing fast he was. Look at Golovkin in the amateurs, like how fast he was. Fighters age, they lose their speed. It's just what happens. He had no longevity in the game because he wasn't all that he was cracked up to be. He was just another cherry picker who would weight train fighters. He would try to change the day of the weigh-in. He always had all these stipulations, gloves, and all this other fucking bullshit. Like, this shit's... Mayweather's not the one who started the nonsense. This shit's been going on forever, man. They've been draining their opposition, picking their gloves, you know, like failing drug tests and getting away with it while they were testing the other guy. Like, I mean, come on, man. Roy Jones Jr., he wasn't even the lineal champion in his division. He was calling himself the number one guy, and HBO called him the number one guy at 175 when the true champion was in fucking Germany offering him a fight. I mean, come on, man.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to get drawn off on a Roy Jones Jr. Would you agree that he's more balanced than Floyd Mayweather?
More balanced as far as in what is mixing up his offense.
It's him pressing action. Him pressing action. Like, I've never seen Floyd Mayweather out when he came out of prison. Then when he would actually press action, when he would go to the action, make an exchange happen. That's all I'm saying. It was
Roy took many more chances than Floyd did. Yeah, that's for sure. That's why he got knocked out. Because he took chances. And Floyd, when he takes chances, he gets cracked clean. So I get your point. I just get hyped up because, man, these fighters are just so overrated, man. It's ridiculous. People
the only
just
reason
don't have
I'm not
perspective.
The only reason I'm not defending Roy Jones Jr. is because I can fully admit that I'm a bit of a fanboy when it comes to Roy Jones Jr. I just love him as a fighter. I liked his style, and I liked his. I grew up watching him, and I like his demeanor too. So that's why I'm not debating, because I take it.
He had incredible athleticism, bro. Like, there's no two ways about it. He had incredible athleticism, but we saw the same sort of thing with Prince Nazim. And then when he got in the ring with the technician who knew what he was doing, it didn't look so good for him anymore, because it's these guys with this great athleticism. They're exciting. It's something different. It's something weird, and people automatically think that they're just like so amazing because they get hyped the fuck up and they cherry pick and duck. But when they get in the ring with the real one that knows boxing skill and has good technique, they get exposed. And that's, in my opinion, that's what happened to Roy Jones Jr.
Precise, you know what it is? It's the high reel, like, highlights. If you type in Roy Jones, you see Roy Jones highlights, knockouts, or Floyd Mayweather highlights, Matrix. They just watch the highlights and see, like, flash and think that's skill.
If you're gonna make a comparison with Roy Jones and Floyd Mayweather, I think the advantage as far as like him being more balanced, he's got that when he was in his prime because he had more power. And as Mayweather could hit you, but he probably couldn't knock you out. So that's why you could say that he had more balance.
Roy was also roided the fuck up, man. I mean, the guy was the guy was on so many fucking roids. It's like, yeah, he's gonna go out there and have that aggression because he's juiced to the fucking gills. Not to say that everybody back then wasn't.
There you
know
go.
what I mean?
There you go. That's
But
more accurate. Right.
yeah. No, I mean it's true, but when when you have this natural athleticism and speed and power, and then you add roids to it, of course you're gonna be Superman. And for a while he was.
Roy was
remember when he came out in that movie The Matrix? Hey, remember when he came out in that movie The Matrix? Roy Jones is really popular, huh?
What?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he played that cameo in the Matrix. Roy Jones.
Dude, I liked how he fought, man. He was a hell of an entertainer to me. I mean,
I like the way he fought too. It was
fucking phenomenal, man. We had kids. I was in middle school when he was fighting, and we had kids imitating during fights his techniques and shit.
Sure.
What he was doing. That was fucking crazy, man. Like he was the shit.
Also the greatest boxing / rapper to ever hit the mic, Roy Jones Jr.
Didn't he have like this insanely like big shoe collection? Also,
I'm sure. Yeah, I think he was sponsored by Jordan. No,
he had all kinds of shoes and shit. Yeah, there's no doubt he was popular, and that he had.
I liked him. I like watching. I've watched this fight. I don't just watch highlights either. I've watched all of his full length fights, everyone that I can get to. Anyway,
that's how good he was, man. I mean, the guy. I mean, he could have ducked. I mean, I understand precise. I mean, he could have ducked because maybe it was a national. Like he wanted the fighters to come to him, but they didn't want to, or other reasons. I don't know. But what I seen him do, like he would throw 3 hits with everything he got in one single spot, man. If that shit would happen so goddamn fast, that's ridiculous. I haven't seen anybody fucking do that shit. That Roy is. I mean, if you put Prime Roy against Prime Floyd and they're in the same weight division, I guarantee you Floyd gets his ass handed to him. That's how good this fool was. He was phenomenal. He was. I mean, I'm pretty sure that somebody could have beaten him. It's not like he's unbeatable, but everybody's
Griffin beat him.
Yeah, everybody's beatable though, bro. It's not like he was unbeatable.
Montel Griffin was outboxing him. I mean, come on. And then, he quit like a little punk and Roy got DQ'd, but he was outboxing him. So Mike McCallum had a bunch of good rounds early on in that fight, and then just the 40-year-old man got old. Who was it that knocked him down on his ass? And he wasn't even a very good fighter. Roy Jones Jr. had a lot of flaws, man, and it wasn't that hard to exploit them. It's just that.
Yeah, not Virgil Hale. Vanny Pazienza?
No, it's the guy from the Mayweather gym. He trains fighters in Mayweather gym, right? Del Valle. Lou Del Valle.
Lou Del Valle.
Yeah. And, he was a phenom, and of course he was original and very exciting sometimes. And he was promoted, above all, he was very much promoted, and he was made into a star. But,
all around really... good for the sport, though. No.
Yeah, definitely. I mean.
Yeah. Would you say
he was never the best. He never proved he was the best in any division, though. That's for sure. On record, he never proved that he was the best in any one division. He moved up through a lot of divisions and he beat some good names, but he was never lineal champion, and he was never a true champion in any division. He had a bunch of titles.
He claimed that because he said that shit about Triple G too. If they're not fighting you, move up a weight division. That could have been the case. Maybe every fucking division he had somebody that don't want to fight him or was asking too much, overpricing himself or whatever.
Triple G was the lineal champion. He was just never recognized officially as the lineal champion. But when he beat, I believe, Danny Jacobs was the #2 middleweight. Canelo had the title, right? But Canelo moved up in weight. He moved down in weight. He ducked. Like, he should have been stripped of that title. And at that time, Triple G was #1 and Daniel Jacobs was #2. So when he beat, like, if boxing wasn't corrupt, Triple G would have become the lineal champion at that point in time at 160 pounds. The only reason he didn't is because Canelo was fucking given I don't know, a break. But Triple G, yeah, go ahead.
Danny Jacobs had that belt because it was vacated, no?
No, I'm not talking about any paper belts. I'm talking about lineal champion when the #1 guy beats the #2 guy or the #2 guy beats the #1 guy. That's how it always used to be. That used to be, you know, undisputed. It used to be all of that. It didn't matter how many titles you had. You were the champion. So, you know.
When Canelo went down in weight to fight Liam Smith, I think he lost that belt.
He should have technically lost that lineal belt, but they somehow boxing allowed him to keep it. All these websites that keep track of the lineal belt, they were just like, oh yeah, well, that's fine. He's Canelo, so we're gonna give it to him.
Golovkin won the lineal belt, didn't he? When he fought what's his face, Murray, right? Because I thought Murray beat Martinez.
You could, yeah.
You could make that case too, yeah. So he proved he was the best, basically, in the division. He's proved that. Roy Jones never did that.
That's what I was saying about Triple G. Things never aligned to him that easy as to how they're aligning to other fighters, which, you know, it's been crazy for me to wrap my brain around that. For nowadays, to be able to unify and get that undisputed, it seems like it's becoming it's put in a silver platter for this next fight with Jacobs, then go on and unify with Andrade. It could never be done for Triple G. I wonder why.
Yeah, because Canelo brings in a lot of money, man. Canelo brings in those sanctioning fees, man. I mean, come on. For every what is sanctioning fees that they get 3% or more?
I don't know.
Anyways, it's whatever. It's a percentage.
A lot of money.
Yeah, they're gonna be getting that guaranteed from fucking Canelo because he's gonna be getting paid obviously $365 million for 11 fights. They're gonna make sure that Canelo gets those belts and he keeps those belts.
Wow.
Yeah, guess what, guys? I just got the tickets for Pacquiao and Broner. The FedEx.
Enjoy that fucking fight.
Like, just as we're talking, I just got the tickets. I was wondering when these tickets were going to arrive.
What seating arrangement do you have?
Let me see. 219, the section. It's obviously an MGM. K2. That's
Enjoy the clinch fest.
Do you have a little diagram? You have like a little diagram there, or like a little map?
It's like way up in the fucking top, bro. I don't mind. I'm gonna fucking drink and watch my friend. And I'm gonna have a blast. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. I don't mind. I'm just.
How do you guys see that? How do you guys see that fight playing out? Or do you don't want to talk about that right now, Bucho, till Saturday?
I told my friend what's gonna happen. I told him we were gonna see a slaughter fest. You're gonna see Pacquiao just annihilating him. And that's exactly what's going to happen in my opinion.
Stoppage, boxer stars?
Yeah, stoppage, man. It's going to be like 8. Yeah, man. He's going to stop him. He hits harder.
I don't think he stops him.
No,
he hits him like...
that fight's going to suck, man.
I agree with Bucho. It might suck. It might turn into a Joshua Clottey, Manny Pacquiao. If he decides to not fight and go into a shell... If he goes, he's gonna go into a shell in the beginning to see what Pacquiao does, and after Pacquiao does something a few times, Broner's gonna try to counter him, and when he does, he's gonna realize he's gonna think that's gonna be his bread and butter. But when he counters and he realizes that Pacquiao's hitting him back faster and more sudden, he's gonna shell up again or get knocked down. But I believe that if he shells up and decides not to trade, it's just going to become a boring fight, and he's still going to lose a unanimous decision, but it's going to be for a boring fight.
There's gonna
If
be
he
a lot of
counters and
clinching.
decides to trade,
A lot of clinching.
gonna-
I'm telling you, man. It's gonna be a
There
lot of
might be
clinching.
There might be clinching, but it's going to be hard for Broner to clinch. Pacquiao's going to go in and out, and
No,
he's
he
gonna
can't do
fucking
that
counter
anymore.
him.
His timing is not
speed
that.
is not as good. What's up, Joe?
His timing is not there anymore, right?
No, what Pacquiao's?
Yeah,
No, it's good. It's still good.
really?
It's still
Because
good.
we said against Jeff Horn
That's
that
what I'm saying. I mean, it's not just the power. It's not the timing. How he steps into the punches. Like he really puts a lot behind it now.
yeah, I
That's
agree with you, man.
Man, he's different now. But that's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna fucking hurt him, and it's probably not even gonna last till 7. I don't know. I'm assuming 7.
You got to take into account that Broner, he's never been knocked out. But you know the thing with him, he's gonna shell up, and he's the bigger guy, whether you see that or not, or people admit that he's bigger.
Honestly. They're about the same
Nah,
size.
he's bigger.
Nah,
He's
Broner's
bigger. He's
way
gonna.
bigger, man. Way bigger.
It might not be legitimate weight. He's gonna be a fat ass in there, but still, for him to have like the weight advantage as far as water weight, and him shelling up, trying to see how he can figure out Pacquiao in order to counter him. He's gonna go into that defense mode, which is really gonna turn into a boring fight. If he decides to you know to fight, to do a good fight, like he talks the talk, when he tries to come back and counter, Pacquiao's gonna clip him, and if he decides Broner decides to go out on his shield, he's gonna realize that Pacquiao hits harder than what he thought.
Yeah, guys.
He's gonna get knocked down maybe 1 or 2 times. He's gonna get knocked down, I believe, but it's gonna go to a decision.
You guys are saying that it's going to be a boring fight, but his last 2 fights weren't really boring. Broner's fights, they were entertaining. I mean, he lost with Mikey, but it's still.
Yeah, but you gotta think that Pacquiao, even though he's older, he's still way faster than Mikey Garcia. You could say Mikey Garcia hits equally as hard, but the reason why Pacquiao hits really hard is because he's sudden. And when he hits you over here and he hits you over there and puts 2-3 punches together, you don't have time to put your brain together again. You get all discombobulated. So when he does that, he's not gonna be able to focus. He's not. You got to realize you got to be an extremely focused fighter to fight Manny Pacquiao. Look at a Bradley. As dedicated as Bradley was, didn't have no punching power, had a lot of punch output, but he was one of the most highly disciplined and focused fighters. And this guy over here, Broner, AB all about bullshit. He's not. He doesn't have the maturity and the mental discipline. This is why when he gets hit really sudden and fast, to be able to organize his mind, to be able to effectively put out an offensive plan. So when he does that, that's why I believe he's gonna shell up.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, that's all I was saying.
Guys. Shepherd and the Son in the chat says, "Can we talk about Brown with you, Jack?" I'll go first.
No.
Jack by draw again.
I mean, you mentioned
he's gonna win.
You mentioned Timothy Bradley, right? I've got a lot of respect for Timothy Bradley because this guy is actually walking around punch drunk because he tried to impress fans when he had no business doing it. He got into wars he had no business in. Provodnikov, one of them. This guy got so much hate after the Pacquiao fight that he tried anything to get the love back on his side, and that means putting his fucking chin on the line. And I've got respect for Timothy Bradley. He's fought everybody.
Me too.
He's fought
Definitely
everybody. This is a guy who's not a big puncher, but he's sitting there going to war with people like Juan Manuel Marquez, who just stopped Pacquiao, and he beat the brakes off of Marquez. He had him rocked to his boot. I like Timothy Bradley. Just doesn't punch hard enough to be dominant.
That's an excellent point. That's one of the cases where you can say this fighter that didn't have punch, he didn't revert to the slick back foot. I'm not gonna fight you. I mean, he's a true warrior, man. I've always had respect for him too, as well, Stu.
He wasn't
Prime
like
example of like how roids don't necessarily give you punching power, man.
sorry,
Cole
he was
precise.
whoa.
He was doing
They
Varda.
do.
That guy was a vegan,
man.
so
Shit, I don't care what he says. They do, depending on how you train with him.
No, you guys are telling me that Timothy Bradley wasn't roided up. Are you really?
Yeah,
you
he
really
was a
saying
clean vegan.
he's a clean vegan.
Besides, are you telling me Manny Pacquiao wasn't?
Well, I've never
Manny
said that,
Pacquiao.
but what I'm talking about, no. What I'm talking about is that, you know, certain fighters take certain drugs that help them out a little bit. You know what I mean? They help them make weight. They help them do whatever. Timothy Bradley was roided the fuck up. There's a difference. Now, let me explain. When you look at Timothy Bradley's skull and you see those two huge chewing muscles at the top of his skull, you're actually going to tell me he was sitting there fucking working out his skull muscles? No, them shits grew because of all the fucking roids he put in his body, man.
Are you saying he could crush? Are you saying he could crush bamboo? Is that what you're saying?
Did you say VDA or Bucho?
Bucho, yeah. Are you saying he could chew bamboo?
No, I'm saying you have more androgen receptors in like go from your head through your traps all the way down to your body, which is why people who roid up a lot of the times will have like huge traps or shoulders or the muscles on your skull, because you don't work those muscles out, but when you take roids, like really potent roids, they're just going to grow because there's a lot of androgen receptors there. Simply because you're chewing your food, these fuckers are going to grow. So the reason why Timothy Bradley's head looks like a fucking whatever the fuck it looks like is because that dude was roided to the
He was
hill.
precise. He was. At the end of the day, when you look at Timothy Bradley's physique, there was muscles on Timothy Bradley I didn't even know existed. The guy was
Timothy Bradley's muscles had muscles, bro.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, honestly, one of the best physiques I've seen in boxing, and this guy claimed to be a vegan. I mean,
yeah, that's what a vegan does to you.
No, it is. He's vegan, right? He's a vegan. Right? This is what it is. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you.
Tainted asparagus.
You know, vegans eat a lot of fiber, right?
The asparagus.
So when you
he had that clenbuterol infused in the strawberries.
You chew a lot, you have to digest the fiber, right? That's what it is, bro. So like you're chewing the fiber down to break it down. That's why you got all that, you know, jaw muscles. That makes sense.
Yo, guys,
to his head.
Look at the pictures I'm posting.
No.
Guys, look at the pictures that I'm posting right now.
I'm not trying to take any credit away from Timothy Bradley. I've said it many times before. They all do roids. I'm just saying that dude was roided the fuck up. Because people think that Timothy Bradley was like a clean fighter, and that's the most laughable fucking shit I've ever heard in my life, man. No way was he clean.
Good genes, man.
The biggest mistake Timothy Bradley made in his career was celebrating the Pacquiao win. Actually,
oh god, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He got up on the turnbuckle, didn't he?
That's what cost him. Cringe. That's where all the hate came from. That's why he was getting. That's why he ended up changing the way he fought to keep fans happy, to try and get them on side. Bradley got a load of shit, man. He was getting death threats and all sorts. And I think where it all started was when he got up on the ropes and claimed the victory, like Andre Ward did. And we all know where Andre Ward is now, on the couch.
Hey guys, there's a picture. Guys,
look at the size of his.
Guys,
look at the size of his head. Look at the size of his head. I posted a picture of Bradley.
Yeah, I'm posting some pictures on YouTube here. But there's a picture here where you see Timothy Bradley off the roids. And he looks like that type of body that you get when you stop taking roids. Like, I don't know, you guys remember in the UFC, Alistair Overeem, when he stopped taking PEDs? Yeah. He looks like flabby, but weird.
Damn, he looks fat.
You see, hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You see that picture I posted right there with my brother and Timothy Bradley?
No, we don't see that.
Well, where are you posting it though?
Yeah, we won't get it on here, mate.
No, man.
Okay, how do you?
You can't.
All right, never mind.
I don't know how to do that.
If you want to send it in the chat, just copy and paste the picture and send it in the chat.
Oh yeah, on Hangouts.
I mean, Timothy Bradley, right? I've always had respect for him because, like I said, he even travelled to the UK to fight Junior Witter, and Witter was a guy that Hatton avoided for many years. Very awkward, horrible style matchup. You know, I hated Junior Witter. I just hated watching him fight, but he was awkward. He was hard to beat. Yeah, he was horrible, but he was awkward and hard to beat, a bit like Johnny Nelson. And Hatton always avoided this guy, but Timothy Bradley came over. Oh, he was a bit past his breath, but Timothy Bradley could come to England and beat up Junior Witt, and then he went and beat Devon Alexander, who was meant to be the top guy in the division at the time. You know, it was a horrible fight. Don't get me wrong; it was one of the worst fights I've seen, but he still got the win. And when you look at some of these fought Pacquiao, Marquez, you know, Provodnikov, you know, the list goes on. And that's why you have to. Precise is right. He was on the roids. Of course, he was.
And Timothy Bradley unified the 140 division when he fought, like you said, Devon Alexander. And I give more merit to Timothy Bradley for unifying that division than Crawford unifying the 140 division by beating a guy like Indongo, you know?
Of course, yeah. You know, Bradley beat, I mean, that Provodnikov fight, right? Bradley had no business fighting like that. Bradley could have just sat on the back foot and schooled Provodnikov all night, because Provodnikov is horrible when it comes to boxing skills. He just walks forward and blocks punches with his face. But Bradley got in a war with him just to try and make a point.
Future.
Yeah.
We should do that for Rabid, the Bradley Provodnikov.
Yeah, you know what, Stu?
Okay.
I think he took that the criticism for that Pacquiao too hard.
Yeah, he did. You're right, bro. He did, and that's why he tried to prove a point in the Provodnikov fight. And if he was slurring his words, and his face was drooping to the side for months after that fight. He had no business fighting like that. He could have beat the brakes off of Provodnikov on the back foot, but he didn't. He got in the pocket, and he's not even a big puncher. And he's trading with a brawler. You know what I mean?
Well, he tried to outbox Provodnikov in the middle rounds, no?
I think he got rocked. I think he got rocked in the early rounds, got all drunk in the ring, and just started swinging with zero defense. It was hard to watch. That whole fight was just hard to watch.
He was out of it.
I agree with try in the middle rounds.
Yeah, exactly. And he did outbox.
Dude, did you see? Just look at that Provodnikov, whatever the fuck his name is. You go look at his face, bro. Yeah. It's just built like a damn cinder block. Like, you can just look at that dude and tell him, like, you ain't knocking this guy out. So you can go ahead and forget that. So he took balls, man. Sit there and trade with that guy, man.
With no power.
I was so impressed. When he beat Marquez, after Marquez had just fucking slept Pacquiao, this Marquez was roided up to the max. He looked like a prime Vitor Belfort. And we all know about Vitor Belfort. So this guy, I mean, Bradley, who's not a big puncher, just went to war with this Mexican legend and just beat him up, and that really impressed me. That did.
Yeah, but that Marquez at 147 was shit, though. I mean, he was slow, and the only reason why he beat Pacquiao was because he landed some good. He timed him perfectly. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, but he didn't. He couldn't time that on.
Well, no, because Bradley wasn't going to fight like Pacquiao. He wasn't going to lunge in or anything.
Bradley took it to him in the later rounds.
Yeah, Bradley took the fight to Marquez, and that's what I liked about it. He took the fight to him. Pacquiao, like I said, he brought out himself, lunging in like a lunatic.
Yeah, no.
How many
knockdowns
of do on Bradley? Huh?
13 what Bradley, he had in his career like 13 knockouts out of
No. I'm saying
okay.
Knockdowns did was it Sultan Provodnikov? Am I saying his name right?
Ruslan.
One wasn't counted.
Ruslan Provodnikov.
It was two. One wasn't counted.
Yeah, he knocked him down, and I think Bradley should have been stopped in that fight, man. That was just fucking bad. Like, he was sleep punching. That's what fucking Max Keller was saying. He's sleep punching, man. Like, that fool was gone, and they let him
for months afterwards. Yeah, it affected him for months afterwards, Boxer Star. The guy was slurring his words. That was a bad beating. He took that.
I heard
you see that fight that he was totally dominating? The fight that he was totally dominating when he fought Jesse Vargas, and how he got clipped. And I give him a lot of respect for that, too, because there's no way Jesse Vargas, based off of that punch, which was a little controversial, could have won that fight. Either the round. But let's say Vargas won the round. Bradley dominated that fight, but the ability to be able to withstand that punch and make it out to the bell, I mean, that showed a lot of heart too.
Why did Timothy Bradley retire?
No more fights for him, really.
What do you mean? Come on.
Now.
Fucking probably his brain was fucking scrambled after that fight he got into. God, yeah,
but do you think?
I think he just didn't want to fight anyone. Any of these young guys. He
It's
just said,
you know what?
Retired.
Couldn't remember where his fucking car was parked.
and nobody talked about it. Well, why is he not fighting? Because I guess unconsciously people do gave him his respect. Because nobody made a big issue about it. Like why didn't he? Why is he ducking him? You know how the media and people get nowadays. Oh, this fighter's ducking that other guy and this and that. He just went into obscurity. Actually, that's what happened, Bucho. Yeah, it's kind of funny how he did. What did happen to him? He just retired. Sailed into I wouldn't call it the sunset, but I mean, because he did take some damage, like Stu was saying.
Yeah, he did. Like I said, it knocked about 4 or 5 years off his fighting career. He was never really the same after. I mean, he struggled with Jesse Vargas. He was just never really the same after that beating. Do you know what I mean? He had some good performances here and there, but.
Okay, question. Is Timothy Bradley better than Danny Garcia?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think Bradley has a much. Yeah, he has Danny's fought some good fights as well, but I think Bradley's it's 60-40 to Bradley for me.
Okay,
you said no Captain Hook.
He's better than Sean Porter. I think Bradley's a better version of Sean Porter because he's a cleaner puncher.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Yeah, let Captain explain himself. I want to hear.
Are you talking about Sean Porter or are you talking about Timothy Bradley?
No, Timothy Bradley and Danny Garcia.
Oh, Timothy Bradley or Sean Porter?
Yeah,
no,
I just like you were saying 60-40. So you're starting to come into an area where it can go either way. But the reason I would say Danny Garcia is because I think he's got more power for sure. I think that he's just an all-around smarter fighter. Like I don't believe fighters that get into all-out wars like that where they go back and forth. I don't believe that lends itself to being a good fighter. I think that just shows kind of a mental weakness, really. To whether it's if you were doing that because you wanted to get respect, or I think that just shows his weakness, really.
Most people in the chat agree that Timothy Bradley is better than Porter and then Garcia. Go ahead, Stu.
The thing with Bradley, like I said, is his ego and his desperation to make the fans happy. He would get in a brawl with Danny Garcia. He'd take it to Garcia, and he'd probably end up getting caught. The more I think about it, Garcia could stop Bradley, but I have to look at boxing skills and resumes, and I'll just pick Bradley. But I wouldn't be surprised if Garcia got the stoppage there because Bradley could play into his hands. Bit of a wrong matchup for him, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia's a good counter puncher. Like I give him a lot of shit, but he's very sharp when it comes to counter punching.
So the thing is, though, you guys are saying
Garcia's a good fighter. He's got a good chin and he's got a punch, and he's a good fighter. The knock on Garcia is he doesn't throw enough punches.
Yeah, that's why I say Bradley wins, because I do believe that Bradley is better than fucking Sean Porter for now. I think Sean Porter has a lot more to show in the future fights. You guys will see it. He'll get better and better as it goes.
Could Timothy Bradley had made a run if he would have stayed? I mean, and by a run, I mean he could have maybe defeated Porter, Garcia, and whoever else is there, and could have actually become like the number 1, number 2 welterweight.
I don't know, man, because his chin was deteriorating, so I wasn't too sure, man.
Who are you talking about, bro? I missed that.
Yeah, Bradley. If he would have stayed, could he have made a run for the welterweight, undisputed championship?
I don't think so. I think just with Furman, I think it's a bit too hard for him. Spence, especially. I mean, this guy's a bit punch drunk, mate. His durability. I don't think is there anymore, and I think he's a stoppage waiting to happen, and that's probably why he called it a day. I think the guys in the 147 division are a bit too big and strong for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a talk with his wife and went like, you know what, like I've been, in too many wars. I have this job now with ESPN as a commentator. Just play it safe. And by the way, they made a lot of money with the Pacquiao fights, and his wife was like the manager or some shit. So I guess they kept a lot of the money. So financially speaking, and by the way, Bradley wasn't one of those guys who was like Broner and Mayweather who just spent the money on useless stuff. He actually, I think,
he's
made
a family man.
Yeah, he's a family man.
You know when I talked about them guys that just say yes, dear. They don't really argue. They don't even know how much money they've got in the bank. The missus does all the bills, does everything. That's Timothy Bradley.
Yeah,
that is Timothy Bradley. He probably doesn't even know how much he's getting a fight. She controls that guy. Do you know how I know? Because me and Errol Jarrett spoke to him on Skype. We rang him up for a phone call, and we had to go through the wife first to speak to him. So,
oh God.
Yeah, and she was in the background listening, and
she gives him like $20. Here you go. $20.
I think. Did you hear a whip sound? Did you hear a whip sound like?
Oh yeah.
Like that.
I think towards the end. No, he pretty much reached his limit, But more to his like towards his prime. He could have definitely competed, because even towards the end, I mean, Brandon Reels was no competition. He wasn't a puncher, but still he was able to get him with the body shot. But mainly because of that, what showed me his capabilities. I know combat math doesn't always work, but when you beat a Marcus so thoroughly, I mean, styles do make fights, and you got to realize at what point in his career Marcus was at. But also, Jesse Vargas, in this case, was like the fresher fighter, and pretty much till the very end, he was able to dominate the whole fight. So all in all, throughout his career, he did well, like, because he was very he trained very good, and he was very focused. So he if you really analyze what kind of a fighter Timothy Bradley was, he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. All right, guys. Maybe we should end the show. It's been 3 hours and 38 minutes. We're not gonna break the record today, but someday we will.
I was gonna say I'm gonna leave, and you just ended the show.
All right.
Because I got for Vegas.
Oh yeah. Keep us updated. We're gonna be doing a show tomorrow and the day of the fight, that Saturday.
I'll let you guys know.
Boxing style.
Yeah.
Boxing style. I hope it's a shit fight. You get robbed by a prostitute.
You dick.
I'm only boxing style. I'm only joking, bro. Have a good night. Enjoy yourself, mate.
I'm a prostitute.
I can't promise.
He takes your clothes.
Boxing style is gonna be our Las Vegas correspondent for the fight. So
yeah, I hope boxing. I hope I don't turn on the TV and see boxing style fucking spraying an AK-47 out the casino windows. Like,
hey Stu, sorry, my dog was barking in the background. I didn't even realize how to mute this thing because I've never been on a podcast before.
Gonzalo, don't worry yourself, bro. I forgot all about it. It happens, man. My dog's do it too.
Oh, I meant to ask you too. What kind of dogs do you have? Because I heard you speaking about your dogs before.
Yeah, I've got a Staffordshire Bull Terrier and an American Bull, and an American Bulldog. And I have to be quite careful with them because they've had a few fights, over bones and food, and I've got myself hurt splitting them up.
I thought those dogs were banned in England, but I guess not.
Yeah, well, not American Bulldogs. American Pit Bulls are, but. I've had to build like really good kennels for them. I can't have them around people. It's fucked up, really. I mean, it's a sad affair, but it's either that or put them down. I ain't gonna do that. So
I got a Belgian. I got a Belgian canine.
Yeah, there's nothing worse when your own dogs fight. When your own dogs fight each other, there's nothing worse, man. Trust me.
Wow.
By the way, thank you for joining us, and I wrote some stuff which I never mentioned. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to receive notifications. Support us on Patreon if you can, or PayPal. Oh yeah, we have PayPal now.
How do I do that, Mucho? How do I do that? Really fast.
There's a link in the description where for the PayPal and Patreon. So just click on the links.
All right.
Thanks for that. Check out BDA Boxing Live, which is you guys know we have a second channel, which is BDA Boxing Live. Mr. BDA just posted a video analyzing Mikey Garcia's chances against Errol Spence Jr. So go check that out. That's on the other channel. That's BDA Boxing Live. There's a link in the description. So go check that video from Mr. BDA.
Why don't BDA post them on these channels? They're good videos, man.
Because it might get copyrighted and infringement. We're not risking this channel, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Real quick, King Bocho, what time does the show start over there where you're at? Because sometimes I miss the beginning because it's a different
we
time.
We start like at usually 5 p.m. Eastern time. So 5 p.m. New York time. What are you gonna call it?
5 p.m. New York time. Eastern. 5 p.m. New York time. Okay.
Yeah. What else? Facebook. We have Twitter. We have on Spreaker. We're gonna upload the show on iTunes and Google Play Music. Yeah, that's what it's called. So check it out.
And if you haven't seen the new video brought out today, the Boxing Clan Edition Episode 3, then go to the videos and check that one out. It's quite a good video.
Yeah, about Patel, the Prince Patel. I saw that. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, he's a clown, that guy. That's why he's on the list.
He's a clown.
Yeah,
but he's actually kind of funny, actually, in a clownish kind of way.
Well, but like I said in the video, there's being the bad guy and there's being an arsehole, and I think he's the latter. You know, and he's just over the top. I can understand if he's actually doing something in the boxing ring, but he's not. He's fighting Scandinavian social workers. You know.
Yeah, go check out Stu's videos on Prince Patel. That guy's a fucking asshole, man. I can't believe I didn't even know he was on. What he said about what's his name? Jesus, I'm forgetting. What's his name? Stu, former world champion, McGuigan. What's his name again?
Barry McGuigan.
Yeah, him. I mean, that guy seems like a nice guy. That boxer seems like a nice guy. This guy's fucking talking shit about him.
No, Barry Jones. You're about Barry Jones.
Barry Jones, not McGuigan. Yeah, McGuigan's the other guy. No, Barry Jones. Yeah. And Patel is talking shit about like how nobody knows him, and this guy's talking like he's Anthony Joshua. And then I check his record. His last 6 fights have been in Hungary. What the hell is he doing over there, man?
At the Morrison's pub in Budapest.
That was the funniest bit.
Morrison's pub. What the fuck is that, man? Anyways, go check Stu's video. And also, we're going to be doing the Rabbit videos again. So we're going to be watching fights. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comment section or on Hangouts if you want to join us. We're gonna be watching some fights. We already have like some people gave me some suggestions. Apology just made a suggestion to watch Bradley against Provodnikov, so we're gonna be doing that. All right, that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All right, later, guys.